calico cat.
Well, that's a dong. So
Those are
that's like a 1% thing. 99% of all calico cats are female.
Are female, yes.
1% always ruining everything.
Damn calico with nuts. What is that all about?
Yeah.
So Mindy has always been a cat person. I've always been a dog person. We just agreed to have one cat, one dog. So the original cat, his name was Tucker, and the dog's name is Dale, for Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yep.
Very funny, Class B movie, horror movie comedy.
Surely most of the people, if not all the people on this call, have seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Redneck zombie movie, we love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, there's no zombies, but
with Wash from Serenity.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. No zombies. My bad. Demons, right?
Leaf on the wind.
No, it was just kids out camping, and they thought that Tucker and Dale were the, murderous hillbillies. Deliverance.
Murderous.
I must be mixing up with another movie.
Pardon?
I must be mixing up with another movie in my head.
Yeah, you should rewatch it then. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
It's a great movie.
We've got the girl. He'll walk it off. He's going to walk that off.
You'll notice that Matt and Flashheart have dialed in.
Hello, Matt. Hello, Flashheart.
I'll be right back, guys.
To the both of you.
He's so much larger than life, he gets too large.
Without wearing my hearing aids, if I put headset on.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Hey, Gordon, I didn't see you. I'm
Les?
doing good. I didn't see Gordon. I didn't see you slip in, man.
Yep, we're here, ready to go.
Welcome.
I had this really surreal night last night. I went to bed around midnight, and I kept waking up to these esoterical rants about Christianity and truth and honesty and evil, and it's a long, crazy night, I gotta tell you.
Boy, it's and it didn't get any shorter or less crazy for being in a participant with it. So
I was surprised that you were the one that called kaput at 2 a.m.
I had like 17 gin and tonics, so I knew that my
You guys played till 2 o'clock in the morning?
my argumentating skills were declining rapidly.
Did you guys play till 2 o'clock in the morning?
We played till like midnight, and then we debated a variety of subjects until 2 a.m.
Got it.
It's more like drinking until 2 a.m.
Yeah, then it was drunks on
That's
parade.
3 a.m. for me. I was long gone.
Oh, it was a good conversation last night. I enjoyed it. I was getting hammered, and I didn't want to, be like, you guys, I didn't want it to get to that point.
Yeah.
Love you, man. Here's an artifact.
You do a Zoom call streak. Everybody holding their camera up as they run down the street.
So, we waiting on anybody? Is Miguel in?
Yeah, I haven't seen Mike yet.
No, Mike yet.
He always
Can
needs
I strike-
He's in roll 20, but
He'll probably be here in a sec.
Okay.
Oh, sugar.
so did you guys figure out all the divvying out of the magic item stuff?
They have not.
This one?
Yeah, no, not for Saturday nights, for this one. Because there was a fairly large list of...
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm not getting anything, but Farina's going to cast Barkskin on me.
Hey, Les,
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll appreciate this. You see right over my head here to the right side of my head, that little painting between the two landscapes.
Yes.
See that? That is
By the door? Yeah.
Right. I worked at a framing shop as a kid and as a teenager, and they had a very damaged illuminated manuscript, and they were carving it up for pieces. And that is from a 1480 illuminated manuscript with the letter M. It's got like all kinds of little serifs and little paintings on it.
No kidding. That's super cool. From 1480?
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
Spanish missile, I guess is what they call them.
Very cool. There's Dale.
Here's Dale.
Hey, buddy.
Dale. Are you ready to help us fight evil, Dale?
Dale is a herding dog, and our friend Libby's dogs, she has 2 corgis, and they are also herding dogs. So whenever Dale and the corgis get together, they try to herd each other, and it's basically a big circle.
Yes.
A wagon train.
It really is. And then, but God forbid you should step up and try to go to the bathroom, and because then they'll immediately break away from hurting each other and start hurting you.
Yes.
And usually it's away from the bathroom.
I don't know if I ever told you guys this story. When I was growing up, we had a big front porch thing on the side of the trailer, and my mother did daycare out of our trailer. And I had a border collie. So she would turn the kids loose on the front porch. I mean, it was a really, really big deck, right? And it had locked gates and all that. So she turned the kids loose on the front porch to go play with toys and get into the toy box and stuff. And then I'd let the dog out. And so 15 minutes later, she wouldn't hear any romping or playing, and she'd go out to figure out what was wrong with the kids. And it's because they were all herded into the center of the deck. Yep. And the dog was just doing circles around them. And if one of them tried to go to the toy box, it would go and lean into it and push it back into the clump and then do circles around
That
them.
is funny.
Yep.
Hilarious.
I believe that exactly.
That was a good day for that dog. That was a happy dog.
Oh, yeah. She was having a great time. One kid would run off. She'd go bring it back. It was just more fun than she'd had in weeks. The kids are all standing in this clump kind of scared to move.
Should have bought that dog some sheeps, man.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, they frown on that sort of thing in the trailer
We had-
park.
Oh,
We had a border collie for the longest time, and we were kind of sitting another dog. It was a little puppy, and Fly, our border collie, would run straight into it, knock it down. This puppy would go rolling, several times, and Fly would run back to the middle of the yard, and the puppy would come over and play with it a little bit. But this happened a couple of times, and I was talking to someone about it. And they said that's instinct also, where there's a calf that won't listen right, is hard to herd. The dog will headbutt it, get its attention, and it'll make that, the animal to get it will come back to the center of the area where the dog's waiting, which the dog's just waiting where he wants that calf to be in the first place. They'd plow over something, go back to the middle of the yard, and that's where the calf would go, thinking that was part of the game. But
I try that with my kids, and it works sometimes.
Yeah, Marley used to do that to the boys. She would just, whenever one of them try and get out of their crib, she just headbutt it real hard.
Headbutt them real hard, yeah.
Bam! You go flying backwards right back into the crib, and problem solved. You did that with the X-Man, right, man?
Of course.
Little head button.
Yeah. I still have to sweep the leg, Like, get in the bed, sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg.
Tough love.
My Cobra Kai move. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Okay.
Is that the Cobra Kai motto?
Yeah.
I can't remember. All right.
Yeah.
So I want to apologize in advance. I shaved today after several days, and I missed a huge spot on my chin, so try not to let it distract.
We were all talking about that separately on a different.
We were trying to consider if we were going to play or not.
By the way,
I don't know what the hell happened.
Somebody has piano coming through.
Oh, that's
his ambiance music.
That's my ambiance music. So I love ambiance music, but everybody typically hates it. Although Dan said that he enjoyed it. So
it's nice, but it's usually too loud, and especially like online, it's hard to go from.
In person, it's awesome. Online, it just always sounds sinister.
Yeah, usually kind of.
Is it too loud now? Because it sounds like the perfect volume.
No, it's fine.
I think the word everyone is looking for is distracting.
Zoom actually it shuts people off. Like if more than one person talks, it concentrates on the person talking and it mutes other people. Have you guys heard that or you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does
you
it?
can pin somebody if you want to see. Like you could right click on, or you hover over Les's image, and there's a little 3 dots that pop up, and you can click that and pin his video, so only his video shows up.
Yeah, who would want that though?
You guys should probably do that.
That way, I only see less on the map.
See, I've got the whole screen, and I see like everyone's little thumbnail up the top.
Yeah, the Grady Bunch.
I like that. That way, if I'm talking to someone and I'm not getting an answer, I can just glance up there and look to see if they're actually at their computer or not.
Right.
Usually they're there and they're just ignoring me, but sometimes they're just not there.
I do the
We're all
same
going to be a
thing, but I
camera
do
head
it
check.
up
You
and
got to
down
put
as
the
opposed
virtual
to
life
side to
facsimile of
side.
yourself there. What's that, Les?
I do the same thing, but I do it up and down versus side to side. So I usually I have it like, you guys can't see it obviously, but I have the map that I'm sharing, and then over to the side, usually like right on top of the chat window is the all you guys. I can see all you guys sort of in a line. That's how I do it.
It maxes out at 6 thumbnails though. I've noticed that. No matter how, I've got a big screen that can do more, but it maxes out at 6.
I usually scroll down one, so I don't have to look at me. So I would prefer to look at all of you.
And Mike, you have it set to the grid view. Top right, there's a different settings. There's a grid view. You should be able to Brady bunch the whole group into even more grids, even more settings.
That would just be way too exciting. So I think
I can see all 8 right here, but
I'll stick with only seeing
dozen.
6 of you at a time. I don't know what I would do with 8. So.
I just went to grid view, so now I can see everybody. Yeah. Cool.
So you could do a moderated Zoom call. I've been doing it at work with 2,500 employees a pop, so it'll show 100 panelists at a time. And then if you really want to zoom in, you can see all these little tiny thumbprint, thumbnails of everybody. It's it feels very matrixy.
Awesome. All right. So that said, and now that everybody's got their video, their preferred videos set up so that they can look at everybody in a big line. Last time we played, lots going on. So you can see a little bit where we are. I'm not going to go into like a full sort of thing, but you guys went back to the Baphometian temple and found it to be strangely unattended. There were some guys.
It's attended.
Well, initially there was like not a lot of people going, but then you spotted some guys that were just standing there. You investigated them for a little bit. Turned out that they were lashed with some sort of metal or metallic flask, a large metal flask in a rig that was strapped to their bodies, and they were mumbling to themselves, "I am a 30-second bomb. I am a 30-second bomb." You guys killed some guys and went inside, found some other stuff, and eventually made your way to a room where inside you found a creature who said his name was Grillixby, and he looked like a elegantly dressed man with the head of a fly. Obviously a demon, but he had an interesting story to tell. And that story was that he had been put here by Xanthir Vang as bait for essentially a trap. There were a lot of these bombs scattered about the Baphometian temple, typically in places where there's load bearing, essentially scattered about in ways that would, were they to go off, would cause the temple itself to collapse in. Remember, it's inside of a canyon, so there's there's lots of stone above the temple itself. The explosions would blow out the supports, and the entire thing would collapse. The real bait wasn't Grillixby, though. It was the bag that he had on the desk. Now, that bag was filled with documents of a military nature that outlined military troop transports and strategic analyses that the demons were using as part of their greater effort in the world to try and push back the Crusaders on all areas. So those documents in itself would be very valuable to the Crusaders back at Drezen. But also Grillixby said, look, and he was very sort of disgruntled. He was like, I worked for Xanthir Vang for over a decade on this plane, keeping the balance between the Blackfire Adepts, which Xanthir historically had led, and the Baphometian Templars, whom Hepsamira had sort of given to Xanthir to sort of lead, but Xanthir's not a Baphometian, and all these other things. So there was a lot of friction, and this guy Grillixby was basically Vang's major domo, and he sort of kept the peace between the various factions and the various creatures here to make sure that everybody worked together for the common good. And his reward for that was being magically shackled to this desk to serve as bait, and to frankly to die in the collapse of the temple. Once anybody who came in here you set off the trap. You guys did quite a little bit of investigation. You found that the back of the door into this office contained some pretty significant runes, which you, Bardos specifically, was able to accurately assess as being the trigger for the trap, some sort of triggering mechanism that theoretically would set off the bombs, and Grillixby confirmed that as you guys were talking. There was certain things that he could not say that caused him to feel pain. Some sort of shock, electrical shocks would stop him from saying certain things. But you guys worked out a way that he could talk. He could answer questions, primarily yes or no questions, and you guys were able to ascertain that it was indeed the triggering mechanism. How exactly that triggering mechanism works, you don't know. And I think Gordon sent out an email a couple of days ago. I think he made some great points. I mean, we really don't know how that works, whether or not Xanthir lied about those people being 30-second bombs. Maybe they're 10-second bombs, and they're just saying they're 30-second bombs. The runes could factor into the whole room. There could be another set of rooms on the underside of the desk if you try and sort of end around it. I mean, Xanthir's mind goes in mysterious ways. Grillixby, for his part, because he was so angry at being treated so cavalierly, to his point of view, he's provided you with a gift, essentially, and he made a copy of one of Xanthir Vang's journals, and that book is also in there, which Grillixby says will be of value to you as well. So the prize is there. You guys have wandered around the complex pretty much looking for loot and things like that. You discovered one room that had this sort of black liquid seeping from the walls that made Gato sick. And
So we locked him in there.
Yeah, you guys locked him in there. No, you got out of there pretty quickly. You guys have not looked to the southwest, which is where everyone says is where Xanthir, if he were here, which you guys don't know if he's here or not, but if he is, he would be down there. That would be the direction that his laboratory and his quarters are down in the southwest area of the complex. And that is sort of where we start. You guys have been trying to figure out a good way to get the bag and get out before the bombs go off, so that you guys don't get buried in, hundreds of tons of stone rubble. Is the bag
from the fly guy? I was thinking it was from Vang, but did the fly guy just?
It was from. Well, it belonged to Vang, and what Fly Guy would tell you is that he basically provided the bag full of the military documents. It was Fly Guy that managed to slip in the journal before he was shackled to the desk. But yeah, it was definitely set up there to be bait for you guys specifically, so that you would enter the room and enact the triggering runes that would set off the bombs. The idea being that you guys would not have enough time to get out, even if you understood what was happening. 30 seconds would not be enough for you to get from here outside into safety in time, and that the idea is that you would be buried in this temple with everybody else that's in here.
Les, do you mind if we take a second and do these magic items? Get that.
No, not at all. I mean, no, that's fine. You guys want me to leave or?
Yes, because we made up a few, and we don't want you to say no.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
So what do you guys think about the natural armor amulets? I mean, if Farina's going to give Fletcher that spell all the time, then he doesn't need it, I don't think. I mean,
I'm good with that.
Matt, do you have any kind of natural armor right now? You're muted, dude. You're muted, Matt.
You're still muted.
Sorry.
You're
can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hi. So I have plate armor on, but I don't have any natural armor on that I'm aware of.
Okay, so you could use it. And
I'm looking at my sheet here.
Yeah.
You don't have an amulet or a necklace or anything?
No.
So you're probably the guy that gets hit second most next to Fletcher. So you probably should take the +2 natural armor amulet, I guess, unless you've got a way. I mean, Jennifer, how many of those spells do you have? Could you do bark skin on 2 guys consistently, or is
No, it's not like a cantrip, but I've got a few.
Yeah.
It's first level spell.
Bark skin's +4 and it stacks, so it's really a good spell.
I actually have bark skin as well.
Oh, do you?
I just don't have. I'm a gimp caster, so I don't have a ton of spells. So I can do it in a pinch, or if it's a big battle, I can give lots of people that. But I just.
Yeah, Gordon. For reference, my AC is 26 right now. I try to be the most hit person that takes the brunt. So that would put me to 28.
You got to fight a
storm
on that one.
If it has, who else might need it?
Bark skin would get you to 30.
Yeah.
Great.
You have to remember to cast it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should just plan on doing that before battle, just doing bark skin on both you guys for that +4, and then give the guys that don't have, like I said, I mean, Carlos has an 18 right now with mage armor, So he's pretty much, if anything tries to hit him at the level we're at right now, he's going to get hit. And he's got a good amount of hit points, and I don't know.
I'm 23.
I've pretty much let everybody take whatever they want from the stuff. I already had Radiance, and I took the plate mail, but I don't think I have anything else. I do have a cloak of +1 resistance. That's it.
Mike, what's your armor class?
Mine is 19. I'm not worried about me though. If there's any extras left over, I wouldn't mind having one for Storm. But
She's a
Storm's
tank, so we need her to have something.
Yeah, Storm's already got a fairly high AC. I would just, like I said, I'd give it to everyone else first, but if there's some left over, like her to have it, because she doesn't have any amulets of that sort.
Yeah,
basically,
actually,
the Eidolon and I share slots, so I would give her my next slot, and then she would have that.
If she was killed, would that amulet just drop to the floor, or would it go with her?
No, anything that I put on her stays with her.
That's
how about the great cat? Can the panther get an amulet on around it? Les, is that practical, or would that be a pain in the ass?
An amulet in the bell?
Like a collar? I mean, I don't see why not.
Well, maybe we should give it to the cat. I mean, Otto doesn't have a great AC, right?
No, that's why he doesn't get out in front very often, because I feel like a couple hits and he's out. I would use it more.
What's his? I'm sure it's nowhere near as good as.
And he's just a regular cat, right? I mean, it's not like if he gets killed, he'll come back.
Yeah.
Right.
He's not some sort of magical. Okay.
Yeah, he's up to a.
I think we resolved this last time too, but
use it more than Otto.
Give it.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, why don't we give the +2 to Storm and then the +1 to Otto, and then Bartos can take the bracers.
I'm fine with that.
I think a magic user can use bracers, right? They're not concerned.
Yes.
Yeah, but do they
That's
stack?
what a magic user uses, actually, as bracers.
Do they stack with your mage armor?
They do not stack with mage armor, though.
Oh,
Because
really? So then,
they're both armor bonuses.
But he doesn't have to cast mage armor then.
Yeah, if you get one good enough, you don't have to cast mage armor.
I'm back so far. Is it not better even if I do give? Oh, does Barkskins stack with the amulets? They do, don't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
They do
Barkskin does not stack with. Wait, Barkskin.
I think they give the same.
Yeah, Barkskin is natural
Barkskin
armor.
gives a
So
natural armor
Barkskin
class. It
is
does
a
not stack.
plus +2 to
+4.
natural armor, and it
Plus
increases.
4.
You know,
Oh.
as the caster level goes above.
Yeah, Barkskin is +4, so Barkskin would override the amulet basically.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, because the amulet provides natural armor bonus as well.
The amulet's +2, Barkskin's +4. What
They're
you
actually
do,
not
you would get the
natural.
So it's
Barkskin
one or the other.
+4.
Right.
There's two things, Les. There's natural armor bonus, and then there's a natural armor enhancement. And the bracer, or the amulet, and Barkskin are both an enhancement. So they stack with natural armor, but they don't stack with each
But
other.
not with each other.
Correct. Yes, they don't stack with each other.
All right. Well, shit. I don't really
But
feel
you
like
could wear plate armor and also have a natural armor medallion, right?
Yeah, because
Right.
one is an armor bonus and the other's a natural armor bonus.
Got it. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can anybody else use the bracers? Because I mean, I always have mage armor on. It lasts forever.
Can I wear them?
So
Okay, that's not on
It
me.
wouldn't stack with your plate mail.
yeah,
I
it
wouldn't.
doesn't-
Okay.
I would not.
Never
The
mind.
bracers are really only good for someone who doesn't wear any armor, like Bardos, except for that Bardos uses mage armor as his standard, and mage armor lasts like an hour per level.
What about
So-
Fletcher? Doesn't Fletcher go?
I wear some armor.
He has armor. Yeah. So the bracers wouldn't stack.
Yeah, but I don't think it really completes your look. I think bare chested is the way to go, my man. Really.
It,
You're always
would be
covered
the
in
more
blood anyway.
traditional look. Yes, I agree.
I think how much easier. It's more like a wash and wear because you just hose yourself down after. Usually just coated in blood.
And I'm really going to need that bark skin.
Do we put bracers on Otto? Do they shift form?
I've never heard of any magic items going on any kind of animal companion.
How about on all your elementals?
These are not necessarily like your normal animal companions, though. So I'd be willing to allow it.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's give the bracers to Otto then. So that's +2.
Bracers on the owl.
Mike?
Well, so but
His flying ability now sucks, but he's a little well armored.
well, you have to be able to. You have to be in a position. I mean, when it comes to like a necklace or an amulet, you could string it around an animal's neck. To put bracers on an owl, I don't know that would work.
I was being ridiculous, but okay.
I'm just used to
Like the clockwork owl?
if there's a tricky bit, people do take advantage.
Oh yeah, Clockwork Owl was Clash of the Titans.
Do you play things shrink
This
to
is
fit, Les?
I'm sorry?
You play that things shrink to fit if they're magical, like
Like
armor
Salt
and
Spring.
bracelets that shrink to fit, or do they?
Well, yeah. So armor and stuff, magical armor would shrink to fit the wearer, yes. But I mean, you still couldn't fit braces on an owl.
Where the hell do you put that on the always sheet?
Hey, how about next time we're at town, we get an NPC to go with us, and he just wears all the stuff we can't wear right now. And then as we need new gear, we can just switch him up. He'd be like our living model, like a torchbearer.
Mobile party booty.
Yeah, just wears a big backpack and stands around with a torch in his hand all the time.
We got a +2 down here at the end. Interesting.
All right, so can
Jennifer-
Bardo +1
Jennifer,
amulet?
wait, real quick. Jennifer, on the only sheet you were asking about how you would do that,
Yeah.
go to the animal companion sheet and just in the armor class, just put the adjustment there.
That's what I was doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Don.
Yeah.
The way it works is a summoner with an Eidolon. It would be too powerful for them to both get slots. So basically, my slots are all we've got.
Right. Okay.
So I can give my Eidolon one of my, like if I have a ring, I can give the Eidolon that ring, but then I've only got one ring slot left.
So I would imagine that you actually wear the ring, but your connection with it transfers it to the Eidolon, so that when if the Eidolon gets killed or anything like that, you're still wearing the ring.
I'd have to look that up because I think I remember reading something contrary, but
Okay.
I don't remember that for certain. But yeah.
Continue. We're done.
All right, so Bardos gets the +1 amulet. Storm gets the +2 amulet. Otto gets the +2 bracers. Who's got Cloak of Resistance?
And I get a draft pick of my choice in a future booty pile.
Future booty.
Who already has the Cloak of Resistance? I know there's a couple of those out
I
there.
do.
Fletcher has one already.
Gatto has one.
I don't think I have one. I don't know if I need one.
Bardos has got pretty good. So he probably would prefer somebody else take those right now
Take what?
till we get saturated. So, Illendar, do you want the +1 and we can give Farina the +2?
For what?
Well,
The Cloak of Resistance?
What's it? Say it again.
Hang on one second.
Go up by 2. That's righteous.
Yeah, I'll take +1.
Okay. So Farina gets +2 Cloak of
I
Resistance.
mean, that's going to give me a +9, 14, and 10. That seems pretty. Does anybody need it worse than me?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're.
You know what? You're our legless. I'd rather you stay healthy and kill things
She's
faster.
legless? Oh, legless.
Legless.
Yeah, she's legless.
we're dragging you already. So
We're trying to-
Back in
I'm
town,
glad our
you'd have to
party's
get another
opening up
cart.
to equal opportunity to
Yep.
special needs, but
Alchemical Fire Flask. Does anybody else want that size Farina? No. Okay. We got 6 cure moderates. Want to just give 1 to each? I think we got 6 people. Only 1, 2, 3, 4,
7.
5.
absolutely. I would absolutely love to have that.
Well, why don't you take a serious, Matt?
Okay.
You don't have anything right now?
Well, I can cast my own. I do have a potion of cure light wounds right now.
No, serious is a lot better though. So I mean, I think all the fighters should at least have 1 cure serious on them as a backup.
Yes.
Dan, you said you had some cures already. Do you have a cure serious? I think he's froze. Out or shocked.
What's that?
Dan?
I said Dan is froze or shocked.
He's eternally shocked.
Yeah, I think he got a flesh to stone cast on him.
That's my opinion.
And he just disappeared. So
he did.
Here he comes. He's coming back. There he is. Dan, you there?
Yeah, sorry. Activity there.
You look shocked, so.
Do you have a cure serious already?
Oh, sorry. You were talking about healing potions. I have a cure moderate and a cure critical.
Cure critical. All right. Well, why don't you take a cure serious too?
Yeah, I agree with
One of each.
Complete the set.
I agree with Gordon that the fighters need to have those.
Yeah. Well, and there's 7 of them, so we can pass them out a lot.
So who gets what?
Farina, what do you have as far as you have any
None.
potions? Well, why don't you take a cure serious too?
I'm happy with a moderate, but I will take a cure.
I mean, there's enough that we can give everybody some.
Okay.
You can take a cure moderate too.
My Lothar can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah. Mike, does Illendar have any potions?
Yeah, he's got a cure light, and actually just got a cure light right now.
Well, why don't you take one of each too then? I mean, I can try to figure out how many of these are. Get my notes.
One of each what?
A
Cure moderate, cure serious.
Cure
I'll
moderate.
take two. I'll take 2 cure mods and let Sirius go to one of the people who are in front of people more often.
All right, so cure mods, 2 to Illendar, 1 to Flash. Did you take a cure moderate too, Matt?
I did not. Do you want me to take one?
Yeah, take a cure moderate and a cure serious.
Okay, I got the cure serious. I'm adding cure moderate to my list here.
And let's see here.
We need like a potion caddy.
So Fletcher, Flash, Bartos, Farina.
Don't
That's
fall off a
4
cliff.
cure
All those
serious.
potions are going to get smashed.
Otto?
And mix and explode.
Chuck, do you want to carry potions? I mean, just
No. Any of the I'm sorry. Any of the heal potions should be passed out to literally everyone but me.
Yeah.
So that if I'm unable to get to an area, or if I go down, then you guys have the ability to heal yourselves or bring me back up or something like that.
How about
Gatto
you?
doesn't want to appear greedy because Farina, is always suspicious of him, but he'd like something.
You don't have any?
Gatto, why
I
don't
have-
you take the last 2? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, actually, there's 3 more. So why don't you take 2 cure serious? Oh, now you're froze up.
Now he's permanently happy.
That's a nice spot to
Statically
freeze
got
right
2
there.
potions.
That's a heck of a freeze right there.
That's
Froze, yep.
All right, so take 2 cure serious, Gatto. 2,
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, and there's 1 left. I think that's everybody.
Are we missing somebody tonight? No.
Yeah, Fletcher can heal himself too. Oh, well, no, Flash can. Yeah, Fletcher, why don't you take 2 cure serious?
Yeah, I can heal myself, so.
Yeah, I
Give it to somebody you
can't.
cannot.
And there's 6 cure mods. So Illendar took 2, Flash took 1, 2, 3, Bartos 4, Farina 5. So there's 1 cure moderate left. Gatto, you want to take that too?
So 1 cure moderate, 2 cure serious.
I'll take it.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Oh wait, you know who we wouldn't do is Illendar took 2. Okay, yeah, so we're good. Go. All right, so that's all of that. Dust of dryness. Illendar, do you got an interest in that, or I mean,
What's it do?
Deodorant.
it's like it dries up water, I think.
Yeah, hold on. I'll check for you guys real quick.
It's like
It's something
antiperspirant.
like that. It's
Yeah,
a utility
exactly.
thing. I mean, Bartos can just hang on to it if we
I
ever.
just hang on. Yeah, just hang on to it.
So it has many uses according to this. If it is thrown into water, a volume as much as 100 gallons is instantly transformed into nothingness, and the dust becomes a marble-sized pellet, floating or resting where it was thrown. If this pellet is thrown, it breaks and releases the water. The dust only affects water, not other liquids. If the dust is employed against an outsider of the elemental and water subtypes, he has to make a DC 18 Fortitude save or be destroyed. It does 5d6 worth of damage to a water elemental, even if the saving throw succeeds. So it's the kiss of death for water elementals, but you can also suck up 100 gallons of water into a pellet, and if you throw that pellet at somebody, it releases 100 gallons of water on something.
That's gotta be pretty entertaining.
That just sounds
That's a
fun.
party trick.
So when Flash Art gets particularly smelly in that plate mail, we can just.
I'm thinking that's a perfect thing for a tavern owner to have to cool the crowd down if a fight breaks out.
All right. So the rage potion, Fletcher, you don't really need that. Matt, you want to take that?
It's like a little mini half rage, and it wouldn't give me my rage powers. So
Yeah,
Right.
he's mad all the time anyway.
Full smash.
Will
That's
you
a
use
secret.
that, Matt, as a paladin?
What's that?
Will you use a rage potion as a paladin? I mean, do you have a philosophical problem with doing that, or
I'm gonna have to speak to my attorney, Don, the paladin attorney, or Mike. I don't believe I can I?
What is it?
you
A
can use
rage
it?
potion?
Potion of rage.
You can use it just to,
Yeah, you can use it.
Rage.
Okay.
it basically makes anybody who can drink a potion be able to rage.
Okay. You want me? I'll carry it. Potion of rage.
Potion of rage, yeah. You can look it up. And it just gives a couple bonuses basically.
The problem is, you guys are going to be back in Dresden. It's going to be Saturday night. He's going to be sitting in an ale house somewhere. He's going to reach for his ale, but instead he's going to drink his potion of rage, and he's going to get thrown out of every bar in Dresden.
Okay, like that doesn't already happen.
I better not pay for drinks in residence. All I'm saying.
All right, so the zone of truth. Flash Art probably can take that too. I mean, he's the only one who really is lawful good.
Yeah. After Xano had it, I feel like it's part of my my character makeup now. The Zone of Truth.
You guys sure you don't want to just make Gato carry it?
or Jennifer or what is it? Is it an item or is it a potion?
It's a potion,
Scroll. Oh,
so you can use it.
It is a potion.
Yep.
What the hell do we have a Zone of Truth potion for?
All
It
right.
puts the zone of truth on you. I mean, you essentially force somebody else to drink it.
I know we've had magic items with it on before, so I was just curious. Yes, I will. I will make somebody drink it someday.
Okay, Lothar, did you get the 2 cure moderate scrolls? Nobody else can use those but you. So,
okay.
well, I guess Farina could. But you might as well take them, Chuck. You do most of the healing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Dispel magic. What's that, Chuck?
Well, like I was going to say, if I'm conscious, I have a lot of healing options. So if
Well,
if I'm unconscious, I would rather you guys have those healing options. So
Well,
you
with the
can bring-
scrolls, we can't necessarily use, but I guess you can, right? You can do
I
healing
can
scrolls.
use scrolls, right? Yeah.
Gato might be able to.
I can.
Let's give them to Farina then.
Yeah, or one to Farina, one to Gato, whatever it is, just to make sure that other people have the ability to.
Yeah, give one to Gato and one to me.
All right, Gato,
It
you
would
got
essentially
one
be a
scroll.
use magic device roll.
No.
It's mod, is that right?
Cure moderate, yeah, a scroll. Dispel magic, Illendar, do you want that or you want Bardos to carry it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, Illendar's got that. Obscuring Mist. Bardos wants that for his spell book, if possible. Hopefully he can save it.
Go ahead.
Once we get a level, and the same with planar binding, we might need that at some point, but
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
that's a good one to have. And then we got the 2 wands of magic missile. Illendar, are you interested in one of those?
Yes.
Okay, so you take the 6 charges, I'll take the 4 charges. I've already got the thing that stores magic missile things.
Okay.
I still don't have magic missile though. That's one of the things I got coming that I can put in my spell book so I can actually do missiles. And then we got the summon monster wand. I mean, do you want that, Illendar? Or would you be? I guess it doesn't really have your benefits being a wand.
Right. I'd rather someone else have that because I can do it. As long as I get rid of Storm, I can do it pretty much at will.
Gato, could you use that, a
Sure.
wand? Why don't you take that too? That might be good in your toolkit.
Instant, well, as long as you think ahead, instant flanking companion.
Summon monster who? 3?
4. Summon monster 4. 8 charges.
4? Nice.
Yeah, that's a really nice one.
I should have never gave you that. That
And
was
then
a
crossbow,
that was a
Illendar-
big mistake on my part. I have a feeling.
Yeah. And then we got a little bit of stuff. Well, we'll just save. Nobody wants this +1 silver dagger, right? We can just save that and sell it.
Something else to consider is the sort of adventure arc that we're on now is to go get Jesker Helton out of this demon city or what have you and bring him back and resurrect him. So we're going to need 5,000 gold pieces worth of diamond dust in order to do that spell.
Right, and man, I
And
mean,
that's one of the few spell components that Les sticks to. So at some point in the next, hopefully 18 days or less, we're going to need that sizable sort of amount of diamond dust to try and bring Yesker back.
Yeah, as much stuff as we can sell is good, because also, and this is something you find out just in talking with Bardos and Illendar at night. They've been talking back and forth, and they're getting pretty good at making stuff. They kind of work off each other and all that kind of stuff. So we're getting to the point where we can make a lot of different things as long as we've got the resources to make them.
Right.
So I'd say if it's something that we don't really want, it might go back in a sell pile. Or Les, is there a way we could work something out where if we have magic items, is there a way we could break them down into just pieces so we can use them to build other things?
there's rules in the in the magic item thing.
Is there?
About how to do that kind of stuff? Yeah. Yeah, I know you can, like armor and stuff, you can build on top of stuff. You can
Right.
or
You can build on top.
And I think you can do that.
You-
Other things too.
I'd have to look at that too. So I just don't know that. I mean, I think it's possible. I think you're right, Gordon. There are some rules that deal with that. I don't know what you get out of that though.
Well, no, I know you can build. You can just add on to stuff. I'm talking about, can we,
Breaking
in
things
downtime
down, yeah.
dissect stuff and pull stuff out, and because anytime you make something,
I don't know.
it says you need X amount of gold pieces worth of raw materials, and it's assumed that you're in some big city somewhere and you've got access to anything you'd ever want.
Well, so Drezen, so Drezen's not a big city, but it's getting bigger. And there are people coming in. You also are pretty good homies with,
Right.
what's that one guy's name?
He set Barnos up last time with the laboratory to do scrolls. So I mean, there's definitely stuff there already. The start of it, we got a skeleton of it.
Right. Like I said, if we can just start getting pieces, or maybe find a way, it'd be really cool if we had a way that, since we spend a lot of time out, that we could, dissect or break down stuff on our own to get the raw materials, so then we can use those to turn around and in travel time or whatever, build different things that people are asking for.
Yeah, I'll check out the rule set. I don't know. I'll have to take some time and look at it. In the meantime, don't forget that there's a pretty big. I mean, Illendar, you're standing in it right now. A pretty big magical laboratory that's well stocked.
That's about to get buried.
Well, it's about to get buried, unless you can figure out some way to get this stuff out. Maybe you can borrow Farina's cart.
Oh, and I think there was a little bit of debate last time. This demon has to die. He willingly participated in lots of terrible things on said premises. So no deal to be made.
Yeah.
I can't tell you whether or not you should let him die or not. He himself has pretty much resigned himself to the fact that he is going to die here. Now, obviously he's been summoned. When demons die, they're sent back to the Abyss. He's going to have to remain as penance. He's going to have to remain in the Abyss for 100 years before he can ever come back to the prime material. But at this point, he definitely gives off a vibe that he's like, I don't give a shit. I'm sick of working for these guys. These guys all suck.
Either way, this that's funny. Never mind.
What's funny?
Nothing.
Funny haha or funny strange? No, tell us.
It's just funny. Sorry, that's correct.
Am I like a clown to you? Do I amuse you?
Someone does.
There you go, the whole Joe Pesci bit here.
Where was I even going with that now?
I don't know, but I'm honestly, I'm very curious to see where it was going. I want to know what's funny. I love to laugh.
You can tell them.
Laughing is sort of my thing.
Basically, got a message from Gatto. Do you need help carrying anything? And I'm like, hey, yeah. Oh, wait. No, actually, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
All set.
So, I mean, if there, depending if you could figure out a way to get this stuff out of here, it might be. I mean, it's incredibly valuable. It is a great lab.
Yes.
The problem is it's stuck here, and there's a lot of it.
Yeah. It would be awesome to have this, but like I said, it's about to get buried, and I don't know of a way to get it.
How much does everything weigh?
Can't you dimension door it out or something? There's a dimension
All
door?
together, all the alchemical stuff, the reagents, the raw materials,
to pack
the
it up
forge
and-
itself.
Not the forge. Not the forge.
Well, the forge is
Well,
a
the forge
magical
is a-
forge. It's
yeah, it's a
specifically
magical-
designed for repairing and making magical weapons.
Yes. Excellent. But it's huge.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure. It's
How much does that forge weigh?
Oh, probably 1,000 pounds.
There goes
Did you-
Storm.
Gordon, did you just get a new spell, or is that next level you get a new spell?
Is it move forge? Is that what you picked?
No.
I got teleportation.
So you got teleport, which means you teleport yourself and so many beings with what they're carrying. Storm at this stage can carry a whole heck of a lot.
Can Storm lift 1,000-pound forge?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
No.
Hang on, let me.
I don't think
Will
a
it fit through the
dragon.
door? I guess it will fit through the double doors. And there's
Okay,
double
I know a guy in
Storm
Iceland
right
who can
now?
pick it up.
Storm right now.
That's true. Yeah.
If you're just talking about lift off the ground, or do you want heavy load, or you want lift off the ground?
Lift off the ground. Well, I mean,
A
if you're
heavy
thinking
load for
about it
her
like
is-
teleporting her,
Right,
with
a heavy
forge-
load for her is 3,100 pounds. She
What?
can lift 6,200 pounds off the ground.
That's a lot of weight for a dragon.
That's a car.
Ouch. I didn't say it.
Yeah, well, then
It is.
we can
Jennifer's right,
teleport
that's a
that
car.
back to, the only problem is, let me see how many.
So to
How many,
teleport.
I've got. I can have
Right.
2 teleports.
All right, you can bring. So okay, so the spell instantly transport you to a designated location, which maybe is distant as 100 miles per level. Interplanar travel, not probably. You can bring along objects as long as their weight doesn't exceed your maximum load. Now, if we're talking about Storm here, you're saying her maximum load is 3,100 pounds.
Yeah, for heavy
So
load. Yeah.
theoretically, you could bag all this shit up, put it on Storm,
And that's under her maximum load.
and that's under her maximum load, which
And then he just touches her and teleports.
and
her
he
like a little-
teleports her back to Drezen or wherever. I mean, you could teleport her back to Canebras. You could teleport her back to Absalom if you want.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I hear Absalom's great this time of year.
Yeah,
There's less demons there, I think.
a lot less demons. Almost none.
So yeah, if you want to do that, the thing is, grabbing the papers is super important, but it's also the last thing we do here.
Well,
If there's
maybe
just
second to
one-
last.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about triggering something somewhere else, Mike. I mean, this might not be the only trap that could set this stuff off.
Right.
Well, you guys have been in and out of that lab, so if something got triggered, it's already been triggered, and you guys don't know about it. But yeah, I mean that's a good point. You guys haven't been throughout the entirety of the complex yet, and Bartos will tell you that the places that he remembers from captivity, you guys haven't
We
seen
haven't
yet.
seen yet.
So one could probably make the logical deduction that when Bartos was captured, he was kept in Vang's quarters, laboratory, that kind of thing.
Or somewhere, yeah. It's something we haven't seen yet. So yeah, makes sense. I would like to have all this stuff, and if we could do a portable hole, that portable hole could pretty much be our alchemy.
Do you guys have one of those?
No.
No. Not yet.
But hey, one of us, I don't remember which one of us can build it.
It's not me.
Here's an item. That's me. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, but how long would it take?
But we don't have time to do that
We don't
now.
do it
Oh, I was
now.
going to say, all right. Theoretically, the load up Storm and teleport her back to Drezen idea. I mean, I don't see any giant gaping logical flaws in that, especially since she can carry all that stuff, and it conforms to the spell.
Like, you can't teleport her without you, though, right? You have to go also.
He has
Yeah,
to
he
go also.
basically can take himself and like one person per level or something like that.
Right.
One person per level. Something of
But you'd have
Storm's
to cast it
size though
twice
is
to
going to
get
count as
back,
like
so,
4 people. Yeah, it would just be him and Storm.
Okay.
But then you guys can't use teleport to get in and out of here.
Right. Which
I guess if you teleport it back, so if you guys, I'm thinking about if you guys escape this without being crushed under hundreds of tons of rubble. You have to get back to Drezen, and I'm assuming you would use Storm to do that. That Storm would carry you in the same manner that she was carrying like the two Crusaders.
Right.
Because there's a leather rig on her that allows you guys to sort of like strap in, right? It's
Kinda
not a
like
saddle, but yeah.
Yeah. You could basically link your arm in there, and then you're just kind of
A little stirrup to stand in kind of thing, yeah.
So I can. Why don't we just pack this stuff up? I can dimension door it out of here, somewhere fairly close. We can finish what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Try to get the sack, and then I can just teleport back to Storm, and you guys are gonna go there too, right? So, or back to Drezen, and you guys can just meet us there. I can take up to 3 people, so I can take Storm and 2 others.
Well, Storm
if you do that. Yeah, if you
is
do that,
big. So Storm is big. So a large creature counts as 2 mediums. A huge creature, which I think Storm is. Storm is
Storm's large right now.
large. Oh, she counts as 2. So
you couldn't get anybody.
You may also bring 1 additional willing medium or smaller creature per 3 levels. So you're level 9 now?
Yeah, I can do 3 normally.
3 normally. So it would be Storm, yourself, and 1 other person. The Storm
I guess
counts
if
as
we do
2.
that, then Storm.
Yeah, take whenever, and then I can, once Storm's there with the stuff, puts everything down, I can just recall Storm.
Okay.
And then Storm can fly the rest of us there.
And then I can set up the laboratory while I'm waiting. What's it take, like a day to get there? Half a day?
Get back from Drezen from here?
6 or 8
Yeah.
hours or something like that. Yeah, it was.
More like 2 days at her speed. Plus, she's going to be fully loaded with you guys.
No, it took her. What was
I think it'll take her a couple of days.
It was like 8 hours from where we were camping. A constant flying.
That doesn't sound right, but I'll check
And
it
the
out.
camping
What's her
was closer-
flight speed?
It's 60 per action. So
All right. You guys
without
keep talking. I'll do the math.
About endurance type stuff, it's 120 feet every 6 seconds.
Okay.
So are we going to do the Earth Elemental plot? I like
I like the Earth Elemental thing, and then we just give something unique to the Earth Elemental. That way, if for some reason it does get wiped out in this explosion, Lothar's got divination spells, and he can say, "Hey, where's this? Hairpin or whatever," and he'll know exactly where it's at, and then he can give those directions to the next Earth Elemental I conjure up and say, "Hey, go in the dirt and right here and grab this bag and bring it back to us."
Sounds good. Now, then the other question that came up was, do we want to try searching to find Vang's office before we activate that?
What's the health? How's everybody on health and spells?
I think we're all full.
Yeah, we should all be full because we rested for 2
we
days.
rested.
before we
Full
came.
health.
I'm good to go.
I don't have a problem with doing that, but if we do that, I think we need to be ready with the Earth Elemental. So if something does happen, we'll get the bag.
Yeah, I can do the Earth Elemental same round.
Okay, so why don't we get all set for that? And Gatto, do you want to be the one to search down there? Bodyguard, if you want.
I can do that.
I'll send Otto with.
Oh,
Just-
thanks.
Good.
Watch your back.
Yeah, to watch me is what you mean.
Otto is watching Gatto.
Yeah, so I was you were right, Mike. I just did the math on it. So Storm can fly at about 10 miles an hour, little faster actually. But in order to make sure that you guys don't fall out, it would take between 6 and 8 hours for you guys to fly from here to Drezen, as opposed to investigating each hex, which takes a whole.
Which takes about 6 days or something like that?
Yeah, it would be 5 days.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
is Storm alive at this moment? I remember the demon
Yes.
killed him. Okay, I couldn't remember how much
Yeah,
time.
we
it was.
waited the
an
extra day.
We got an
Okay,
extra
so-
day
We should,
Hey, Les.
in the.
The person that was in this, we've already taken that bag from them or
Yes.
searched them? Okay. The two people
No,
that-
I don't think you've removed the bags from any of those guys
Yes.
to the south there.
Yes, we
Oh,
did.
okay.
We've removed them from every one that we've seen so far, except for the ones in the temple.
right, exactly.
Because we can't get to them.
And those bags
Yeah,
are up on the
less
plateau,
specifically-
correct?
We're up on the
I-
plateau about 200
Yeah.
feet away from the edge of it.
Or
Remember,
are
Les,
they
I was the one who
Gatto's?
took them off of these 3.
That's right. I do remember.
What-
I think they should be in Gatto's bag of holding, though. Like all.
No, we wanted to put them right at the top of the cliff so they could bury us in a landslide when we
Yeah,
escape.
if he
Yeah.
stole them,
Yes,
then that's
perfect.
where they're at.
Okay.
If he didn't,
I do not have a bag of holding.
So just a
I
regular
can understand.
backpack then? You've got them all in the backpack?
That's
Hey, Mike, I
it's
think your
something
first
handy.
order.
Or as I like to call it, your
business is
jetpack.
crafting like 30 bags of holding.
yeah.
What would happen if like bunker buster bombs went off in a bag? Yeah, several went off in a bag of holding. That would be fun.
Well, Nights at Dinner Table, I think is.
You don't want to open that thing when it happens.
Scenario for you.
Right. So what's this room here,
Flag
Mike?
Wars.
Les?
That room. That's a good question. Let me take a look, shall we? It looks like a lecture room, but let me go ahead and find out for sure.
He's the weird dude in the columns.
Looks like an altar.
Use one of the bombs. They're all
Yeah, he
mobile
was
right now.
mumbling the 30-second thing. I remember finding him earlier.
14.
So far, anyway.
Very concerning.
So, it reminds you of a classroom essentially. There's these sort of benches where people would be able to sit, and it looks like there's towards the northern end of the wall there's a sort of a lecture podium, in the north area there.
Yes or no, Les?
No.
Check for traps at these doors. Oh, by the way, anytime I walk within 10 foot of a trap.
I know.
Okay.
You said well.
So you don't detect any traps. Those doors are open, actually.
You can't see.
These here?
Oh no, those are closed.
Okay.
Sorry. No, the ones I thought you were talking about the ones to the immediate south.
No,
Yeah,
no,
those are closed. You do not detect any traps there.
Can Otto listen for perception?
Sure.
See if he hears anything at the closed doors.
Yeah, give me perception.
Might have
Did you
been
did you already? 11. Yeah, you don't hear anything in there.
You've infected me.
It was clear.
Clear.
If they're locked, I'm going to unlock them.
It's not locked. It's open. Unlocked. I mean.
I open them.
We just locked
So it's a let me open that up for
Open
you.
the doors.
No moment. I'm doing 7 things at once here. All right.
Oh yeah,
So-
I've been in here.
The doors open up. How have you been in? Oh, okay, maybe you have.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a large room, and it contains a stove, a fire pit. There's a big table at the other end, at the north end. And the central part of the room is sort of a big table with a lot of stools sitting around it. And then the south, where you are, Gatto, is those are bookcases, and a pair of writing desks up against the walls.
Les, where's the magical laboratory?
It is to the north of Grizzleby's office, so right here is where it is.
Barnos is going to start packing all that stuff up while they're doing this other stuff.
Okay, just sort of like using bags and crates and what have you.
Yep.
Okay.
Another note,
Right.
Les.
Checking.
I've heard it's the fly guy.
That's that room.
You do not. No.
Okay.
Wait. You do actually see. Sorry, they had this all sorted out weirdly. Yeah. So at first you're like, I don't see anything, and then you see on top of one of the bookshelves, not on the bookshelves themselves, but like on the top, there's like a box up there, and you can see written on it is the words "off limits" with an exclamation point. and something's radiate magic inside.
So pretty much it says Gatto.
Last time this
it has
happened,
my name on it, so
last time that happened, he unleashed some whirlwind demon creature on us all.
no. No.
No.
The last time it happened was a silver vial that I showed everyone.
No. This is back in the house where we found the.
I know, but that wasn't the last time. That was the time before last.
Speaking as your dungeon master, as far as I'm aware, Gatto has never committed a crime in this area.
That they know of.
Correct.
That they know of.
In this room that you know of, he's never.
So,
You're saying
so
he
I
never failed to check.
I climb up and I kind of grab the box, bring it down.
It clinks a little bit, not like coin clink, like glass clink.
So this
I
is like
show it to
Mama,
Otto, and I show it to Flashheart. Is that Flashheart worth Murray? Or
No, Fletcher.
Fletcher. I show it to Fletcher.
Okay.
I'm like, I'll carry this for now. We'll investigate it later.
Okay.
so this is like Mom and Dad Save the World. You guys ever seen that movie?
No.
No.
They have the light
Terry
grenade.
Garr.
Well, they have the light grenade that destroys anything that picks it up, and it's a grenade that says "Pick me up" on the side of it. And successive guys walk over and go, "What's this?" "Oh, pick me up." "Okay," and then they blink out of existence.
What's his name? Acting. Thank you, Jonathan Lovitz.
Yeah,
John Lovitz,
That
yeah.
bad guy in that.
yeah.
I'm searching for secret doors all along the south wall.
Okay. You do not detect any secret doors down there.
Are there 3 doors in this room? How many doors are in this room?
Well, so there's a set of double doors here. There's
Okay.
another set of triple doors here, and then the double set down here. So there's 3 essentially sets of doors in this room. This room is actually quite bare. There's nothing in it. It's almost like a little annex of sorts.
Everyone's joining us down here.
Yeah. Everybody's like, I know he's stealing something. We got to get in there.
No,
We
half
get
the
our
party's still
share.
up top.
I had a 15 perception check there, Les. On the north door of these.
On that one? Okay.
14 here. Jeez.
You're rolling rocks.
You
Yeah.
do not hear anything behind those doors,
Yeah.
but they are unlocked.
And this is the last one where Otto
I
is.
check for traps on this door.
Okay.
Oof. So I did a perception of 35 on the top doors.
Okay. You don't hear anything on those top doors either.
Yeah.
Gatto, 28 perception check. You suspect. Oh, +3, so that's a 31.
Yeah.
You get the feel, and I don't know, it's a weird feeling, but you think there might be another rune on this door. There's a rune on it on the other side.
Ooh.
Does Otto hear anything with the 22 on that door?
Now, my disabled traps will affect magical runes also.
That's true. So what did Otto get?
22.
Otto will tell you that he can't tell what it is, but he does hear mumbling. 36 against the disabled device?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it.
So what you do is you take like a little L-shaped piece of thing, you put a little cloth on the end of it, and you slip it into the door and sort of wipe off the rune. And you're thinking, all right,
The rest of us are looking. I was like, what the heck is he doing?
I think that will work.
You two
Yeah.
back up.
On the other side, stops and cocks his head and looks at the
So-
door. What?
Fletcher and Otto, back up.
Otto hears some mumbling on the other side. That door's locked, by the way, too. You could sort of see in there a little bit, but not much.
That's to unlock it. 21.
21, yeah, no problem. You managed to unlock it. It's a very ornate looking lock, but it's not that hard to pick.
I'm going to open the door and then step over here.
Okay. So, Farina, did you hear what I said about Otto listening?
But there's mumbles.
Mumbling. Yeah, he can hear something in there mumbling. It sounds like a voice mumbling, but
So I'm going to tell Bardos and Flashheart that Gatto's about to open a door that he had to pick, and there's people behind it, or something mumbling.
Okay. I'm gonna
All right.
whisper. I'm gonna through my mind whisper that to Storm, and then Storm will say that quietly to Lothar and Fletcher.
Okay. Am I in position here? No. Okay. I'm so
Well, don't
I'm gonna
everybody
move
come
towards-
down here. We got to be
Yeah.
ready to run.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
that's why
moving.
half of us are still up there.
I'm moving
Are you
actually.
going to stay up there with him, with Bardos and
well, can somebody keep an eye on the demon too?
He's not going anywhere.
Hey, Les.
Yeah?
I opened that door.
Of course you do.
Hold on.
And then stepped over here.
Okay. As you open the door, you see. So you did actually wipe sort of like part of the rune that was paint that was sort of drawn on the back of the door. You did manage to sort of wipe parts of it away. So you see, as you open the doors sort of swing inward, and you can see where you're standing. Like the rune is on the back of the door. You can see it. And you can see like it's like sparking. But no explosions or anything like that.
Okay.
But that rune is like, it's obviously malfunctioned.
You ruined a rune.
It's a ruined room.
Otto, go in there. Otto, go. Otto.
Okay, no explosion. I'll come back in the room.
Give him a little smack on the behind. Go on.
Oh, I don't smack him at all.
Yeah, let's see how that works.
All right, so Fletcher, you step up and you sort of look in there. First thing you notice is that there is a something drawn on the floor. In the farthest end of it and sort of the bottom of there, it looks like some sort of sarcophagus, maybe? Something like that.
Very Egyptian looking.
Yeah, very Egyptian looking with a lid, but you can't see much else in there where you're standing.
And do I hear any mumbling?
Give me perception.
Door, storm in the door.
20. Not from there. You don't hear any mumbling.
I'll listen again. Whoops. Hi, now I see something.
All right, you see a person standing there. It's somebody that you have not seen before, but they're just standing there. They are strapped with another bomb. They're standing just outside of what looks to be some sort of 7-armed rune circumscribed in a circle of iron on the floor. And they're just standing outside it, and that you can see their lips are moving in the similar fashion as you've seen.
And like before, he's not reacting to me. He's not.
He's not, no.
Right, I let everybody know. We got another bomb guy in here.
So you also
All in
see
squad.
a couple of things. One, right behind the bomb guy is a bookshelf. There's another bookshelf at the very far end of the thing. Those bookshelves look like they were cleaned out. I mean, there's like a little piece of paper, parchment sitting on the floor. Maybe there might be a book or two sitting on bookshelves that, to your eyes, were very obviously filled with materials up to some point. The desk over there similarly looks like, I mean, the drawers are sort of hanging out. It looks like it was essentially cleaned out.
So are we still able to communicate with each other through some sort of message thing? I remember we were doing that at one point.
Probably.
Mike,
Yeah,
Illendar
I
just
can
whispered
do
to Storm and had Storm relay messages just now. So
Well, but they can talk telepathically at any time.
Right.
but because he did that, I don't think we can, communicate with everyone automatically.
I've got a message I can cast, but I have not cast it.
Well, I'll give this a shot. I'm going to tell Storm
Yep.
that I think Illendar needs to look at this thing in the floor that Gato described.
Okay, so Storm will relay, hey, Lothar thinks you should look at some symbol in the floor, to which I call back to Bardos. Hey, Bardos, they're calling you.
All right.
Because I'm assuming that Gato has described what he's seeing, right?
He didn't. Fletcher did.
Fletcher did.
So whatever this thing is that's in the floor, they put a bomb guy next to. He wanted it destroyed. So the question is why?
I'm suspicious of the.
Could be a gate.
Storm
And
will
are you
tell
going to keep
Fletcher,
checking for traps?
It's right next to Fletcher. Storm will say, if you can get that bomb to me, I'll take it outside and put it with the rest of them.
Okay. Let me wait till the room's clear before I try to remove it. Like Ardos and Gato ain't there.
Okay, room's clear.
All
This is
right.
Arcana checklist, right?
Yeah. So Bardos, this is a room you recognize. You were kept here. Well, not necessarily in this room. You were kept in a different room, but nearby. but you were brought into this room often. This room is essentially, you would recognize this as Vang's, laboratory and research area. That circle in the middle, you saw him use to summon a variety of creatures, demons, whatever, people that planar allies, slaves of various kinds. That's what he used that circle there.
Does Bardos recognize this guy?
No, Bardos does not. But Bardos did not interact with a lot of the Blackfire adepts, and that's what this guy you suspect probably is. I
just thought since this guy's in this room, maybe he was a personal servant or something like that Bardos may have seen at one point.
I don't know why he's in there. Bardos, you remember this room as having a lot more books in it. This was basically Vang's research station, primary research station, and also his quarters. You suspect that the thing that Otto is standing on top of,
the sarcophagus,
is where Otto just gently.
She's like, okay.
You know how cats are.
Well, that sarcophagus, as you recall, is where Vang would sleep. After fashion, or rest, or whatever he did in there. I mean, he would get into the sarcophagus, he would pull the lid over, and then you wouldn't see him for a while, and then he would come back out.
He just heard a kathump.
Gatto, you go into that other room, and let me just give you a quick thing here.
Is that a ladder down?
That thing in the north?
Well, the entrance to this, is that steps? Is it a ladder? Is it?
Yeah, it steps downward.
Steps down.
Sort of a more of a naturally carved chamber.
Right.
Hold on. That room looks like, it's a much more naturally hewn chamber, more like a cave than a room. It's cooler down here. The steps go down fairly steep. Over in the north, you see a large table covered with what look like surgical instruments. They're in a bit of disarray, but there's nothing else in this room except for over down in the bottom. There's like a chair.
Okay.
Hey, Gordon, why don't you do detect magic, see if there's anything left?
No.
Sure, I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay. So the sarcophagus radiates magic. The circle radiates magic. Beyond that, nothing else in the room radiates magic.
So nothing on the dude?
just the bomb. The bomb radiates magic.
That's a new one. What Otto have to do to roll to smell and see if he can smell if Vang's in his sarcophagi guy?
Give me perception. Give me a perception check for Otto.
Come on, let's get a decent roll.
24. So Otto sniffs around the sides and the edges of the sarcophagus, and you get the impression from Otto that maybe there is something in there, but it's the way Otto would describe it is small and does not smell well. Does not smell good, but small. It's not very. There's not a lot of scent coming out from there.
I'll relay that to the group. Otto's smelling something in there.
Just a few of his bed bugs left over.
Like literally.
I will open the lid.
Oh,
Push the lid over. It's actually quite easy to sort of push over. It's made of some sort of not very dense stone, alabaster or something like that. You sort of like get in there and you're ready to push over, and it kind of like scooches over. You're like, whoa.
Oh shit.
You get it over there and you shine like a torch or a light coin down in there, and you can see. Well, so there is a pungent smell. It's not decomp. Like you would get off of an undead, maybe that sort of weird milky cheesy smell that dead bodies have. This is more like vegetable matter almost, but like rotting vegetable matter. As you shine the light down in there, you're laughing. You see bed bugs. There are a couple of large worms, white grub-like worms that are sort of like crawling around a little bit down in the bottom. There's like two of them.
Burn it with
They're just sort of like inching around.
Who's got a small fire spell?
Well, just,
I don't think we need to worry about it. This whole place is coming down.
just
Yeah.
Well,
FYI.
these may not be killed.
Hey, just FYI, could these be part of Xanther Vang? Because he's maggot face, right? Could these be part of him?
That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
If
just
we kill it, then he knows we're here.
well, but also,
Yeah, you probably got a good chance that he knows you're here anyway.
just also, is there a way we can use them to track wherever he is when we get ready to get done here? Because we don't know where he is, right?
I don't know. That's a good point. If they were part of him, it's possible.
Spellcasters.
It'd be a divination thing. It'd be Lothar.
I don't have anything that I would carry them in.
Just in your hands, it's fine.
No.
Put them in your little belt pouch there. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, put them in with the bag of holding with all the bombs in it.
No, they're not going in there by themselves. They would have to be in a container. Other than the box I just found.
You could probably get like a flask or something from the magical equipment room. It had all kinds of alchemical stuff. You could probably find like a test tube or a glass flask with a cork.
I'd run up there.
I've
If
got
the-
the alchemical fire. I mean, do you really want to float on?
Well, no, I'm thinking if we have the ability to collect them in like a specimen jar that can be sealed.
I will run up, avoiding the summoning circle. I will run up to the lab, grab an empty vial, bring it back, and
So you run right through the summoning circle?
yes, that's
Twice.
exactly what I said.
Okay.
Stays down the middle of it, rolls around a little bit.
That's how they work.
Does some Irish dancing.
Stop it.
Yeah, and you find something that you think would be suitable. It's like a little Erlenmeyer-looking flask that has a cork that you grab up. It's small, probably
Right.
6 inches tall, maybe 4 inches around in the bottom of it, and sort of circular, like a mana bottle that you would use. Yeah, I mean, so what are you just gonna pick them up and throw them in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Use a dagger or something to put them in with. Don't touch them.
So we have gloves for it.
Do you have gloves?
No, I use my dagger.
Okay. But you're not stabbing them and putting
I'm
them
not
in there.
stabbing them.
You're going to
I'm-
lift them up with the dagger and
Right.
slip them in there?
Drop them in.
They do leave a pretty good smear of goo on the thing, but you do, and after some, you're sort of like trying to, son of a bitch, that kind of thing. You
Wipe
do,
it off on auto.
You do end up getting wipe it off on auto. Yeah. You do end up getting both of them in there, and you quickly stopper the cork. So
Stopper
now you've
it,
got them in the flask. The cork is in it, and you can see them. They're still moving, so they're sort of like moving around on the inside, leaving little trails,
Right.
like, slime trails as they move around.
Put them in my bag.
They were coated with some sort of like mucusy substance.
Poison.
Sluggy stuff.
Yeah.
Has anyone taken the bomb to Illendar yet?
No, I'm waiting for you guys to leave the room.
Actually, I would suggest we leave the bomb there. If this is a circle that he used to summon demons and that bomb will destroy it when it goes off, all the better.
True.
So to your eyes, Lothar, and to Bardos, and Bardos can probably vouch for this, is this that circle is more or less a permanent fixture in this room. The circle itself is made of like iron embedded into the stone. It's a little high up. I mean, so it was like put there. It's an aftermarket summoning circle. So it was put there later, but it is sort of like it is like embedded in the stone.
It saves time drawing it every time. And
Right,
Yeah.
and then there, the drawings are painted on there. It would look to be permanent paint. And Bardos will say that he saw Vang when he was captured. He saw Vang use this circle on several occasions for different reasons. In some cases, he would summon other planar creatures that were not demons and give them instructions. In some cases, he would summon demons and ask their advice or ask to pose questions to them or relay messages. But it wasn't, the circle didn't change, just the whatever it was that he summoned in there did.
Right. So it's a permanent summoning circle, but it can
Yeah.
obviously be used to summon demons.
Yep.
And I think if the bomb most likely would destroy it, I think that's probably good.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you haven't seen one of these bombs go off yet, but considering how comparatively few of them there are in the building, and it was designed to bring the building completely down with you guys in it. They seem like that they would be powerful.
Okay.
Checking this door.
Okay. You do not see any traps. It is unlocked.
Open it.
Okay. And Bardos, you would remember both of these. Before we go there, Bardos, I just want to say you remember both of these rooms. This is where you were kept. You were interrogated and operated on. Well, you were mostly interrogated in this room, the room with the summoning circle, when you were questioned by Vang. The operations, when he took pieces of your body and investigated various aspects of your organ structure and things like that, were in the lower room, and you recognize that table with the surgical instruments on it. That was the table that you were strapped to for however long you were here. That was the place. It brings back some unpleasant memories.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you go ahead and open it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. All right. This looks like, there's a bed, looks like a soft mattress and headboard. There's a wardrobe and a writing desk, a really nice rug on the floor. It looks like a guest room for important guests. It's fairly fancy, and not opulent, but certainly comfortable. No.
Check for traps.
Give me a roll. You do not detect any traps. This door, however, is locked. And it's sort of like a weird triple panel door. You get the impression that this door, unlike most doors which just swing one way or the other, this door
Kind of
you
full.
get it unlocked. Well, yeah, it sort of moves to the side.
Okay.
To open up the entire 15-foot area.
So this is for big stuff to get in and out.
It's bigger, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can see when you open that up, you slide that across, you see a set of stairs going down, deep. I mean, the entire set of stairs goes down about 15 feet.
Hey, Otto,
where you're
come here. Go down. Look at that. Go down.
Come here, boy. Come here, boy.
That's not how Otto works.
Otto
runs
has
up-
never done anything I've said.
Otto to say hi, and all the weight of him pushes directly on the center of your chest.
Otto, kill Gatto. What? Say what? All right, so you go down those steps. Yeah, you just see it descends deeper into the stone. The passageway feels more less worked, more natural cavern, but it turns to the south.
It's a personal escape hatch.
You do see some rubble sort of in there. It looks like actually, you know what? Give me a trap detection roll.
Oh shit!
So, is that the wrong one?
No, that's it. It's just bad. 19.
So to your mind, you see sort of like rubble, and at first you don't even pay any attention to it because it's not sufficient where it would impede you very much. I mean, at best it's difficult terrain. But then when you get a closer look at it, you get the impression that this is, for lack of a better term, strategically placed rubble. That didn't fall here. It was placed here. And if you think about it, if you were on this side of it, people coming up from the south it is placed in such a way that it creates some really clever hiding spots for people to the north. So that anybody coming up from the south would not see them and potentially an ambush spot. But yeah, on first glance, it looks sort of naturalistic, and I think, and then your mind is, it's supposed to, because it's a very cleverly designed ambush point. You get close to the area, and it looks like another passageway or some sort of cave opens up, and the first thing you see is this thing right here, hanging from the roof of the cave. Now, the roof of the cave is probably 20 feet up. There's a big hook, like a 4-hooked kind of metal rack almost, hanging down about 5 feet. Did you just, what is everything?
I'm
okay?
listening for Lothar. I see
Oh,
Lothar coming.
I thought you were like, I cut one just a moment.
I'm keeping you in the circle.
The circle of doom?
No, the circle of heal his dumbass if something happens to him.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Do you want to describe to him what you see? Because they don't see it on the regular one.
I don't even see where he is. Is he dead?
No, he's right here.
No, I just went up.
He scooted his ass back up. All right. So do you want to describe to him what you saw in there?
I think there's one of those large summoned guys that is very determined and relentless and deadly, and I don't want to go in that room.
One of the golem things?
Yes.
We knew there was one more.
That's what
I
Erastil said.
I take that back. I thought we knew he accounted for the last one. He was sitting in the temple. I didn't think.
One is sitting in the temple with a giant bomb strapped
No,
to
we
him.
knew we
Now,
had two. One's in the temple. One's the one that he just found.
One we just found. Okay.
so
Is this
Khan,
one
give me a perception check. I want to describe to you exactly what you saw.
Oh, that's
Oh, I saw enough.
You saw some stuff. All right. So
19.
you saw, the first thing you saw was this big rack
Right.
hanging from the ceiling. When you peeked in, you saw another one of those racks hanging from the ceiling, again empty. And then you saw the creature. Now the creature was off the ground, which the more you think about it, the more you realize that maybe it
He was hanging from one of the racks.
from a third rack. Near the creature looked to be some sort of stone arch. And near that looked to be a box or a crate on its side, like knocked over and the lid knocked off. But yeah, the more you think about it, the more you think that the creature you saw was hooked to one of those racks.
Okay, guys, wait here. I kind of hate to do this, but I'm going to drink my potion of invisibility.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
And
Right through that.
Are you telling me when you're doing that before you do that? Oh, never mind. I'm not there.
you're not there. And as I drink it, I realized that's a stupid thing because I was invisible
He
the
can
first time we
see-
saw one of these.
Exactly. He can see you anyway. So.
If you want to pull that finger off the pawn, that's okay.
I want to pull that finger off the pawn.
All right. Put that invisible. You
As
get it
soon
up
as
to your
I
mouth, and you're
uncork
like,
it, I'm like, oh no, wait.
all right. So yeah, you go back in there, and yeah, you see in this cave. You're confirming now that absolutely this creature is essentially hanging from the roof. These big metal racks have like 4 different like hooks and a central thing, and it looks like it's just hanging from the ceiling on this like 5 hooked rack that's mounted to the ceiling of the cave.
Does it seem to be looking at me?
No, it does not. It just seems to be hanging there.
Just kind of hanging around.
Does it seem to be looking at me now?
No, it's looking straight out. It hasn't moved, and its eyes do not seem to be. Well, remember, it's got 4 eyes, and they have no pupils, so it's hard to kind of determine. But it hasn't moved its head or anything. Yes.
Here?
No.
Yeah. Here?
Yes.
Here?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Okay.
I'm looking around. Empty?
Empty and knocked over on its side. It smells. You kind of like smells like parchment, like books, like old books.
Jennifer, you can't see through Otto's eyes, though, can you?
Yeah, I think I can now.
I whisper, Otto, come here.
Farina, tell us what you see through your Otto eyes. Here, boy.
Otto, look at this.
Okay. Now, are you using Otto as essentially a remote camera for Farina?
That's kind of what I'm trying to do, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if Karina's going to recognize anything about it.
Give me a perception check.
I'm just using you for your expertise, whatever knowledge you have, because it's beyond my pay grade.
Do you have what knowledge skills do you have?
I have nature and geography.
Try knowledge nature.
It seems to be an unnatural arch.
Well, it's certainly not part of the cave because
Right.
it's freestanding in the middle of the cave. It's not like against the wall. It's like in the middle. 19. Yeah, I mean, this is it's odd, certainly. But yeah, I mean, you don't have any experience with this sort of thing. This is not something natural, certainly. This is not something that you would normally see in a cave. It's essentially a carved stone arch. It's actually quite beautifully done, and it's covered with incised runes, and in some cases it looks like there are other runes sort of painted over the carved runes. So it's
Les, can I take a second and retry my perception check? Like, I can change my aspect of the animal and get a plus on my perception check.
Sure. Take another
I'm gonna
peek.
realize it's a little beyond my normal comprehension and try and get an assist here for myself.
Okay. Holy shit.
That worked.
Your guess,
I
looking
see
at the
everything.
runes and this thing, your supposition is that this is probably the front end of some sort of portal.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be active right now because you can see the cave. I mean, if you look through it, through the arch, you can see the cave wall in the background. I mean, it doesn't look like it's doing anything. But under the right circumstances, with the right spells, this could be a portal.
Okay, my eyes kind of clear because I'm blinded when I do that with Otto. And I tell everybody that I think they've found a portal down there. And another one of those nasty creatures.
It's not moving. It's not reacting to
Right.
Lothar or Gatto or
I-
Otto. It's just hanging there. It hasn't moved.
I don't like being in here, though.
And it hasn't done anything.
Illendar, where are you? You're way the heck up there.
I'm keeping an eye on the other dude.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go.
Keep an
Oh wait,
eye on
Illendar,
that.
you're still packing up stuff, right? In the lab.
No, Bardo was doing that. I was kind of watching.
Oh, Bardos is doing that. Okay.
I was watching Bardo and then just kind of keep an eye on the demon guy.
Rillixby.
Back up, I'm gonna go.
Okay, well, I'm
Well,
gonna
that's
go.
why they needed the triple door to get these guys in and out. These
I'm
guys
going
are
up
big.
there just to tell everybody what's going on, and then I'll go back down.
If you would know if you just tell Storm, then I will know.
Tell
Okay.
Storm, and I shall know. I shall know what you mean. Okay, so you guys are spread out pretty far around the complex. You've got those two worms that you think and Bartos, when he looks at them, will confirm that, these are the kind of maggots, these kinds of worms that Vang was made out of. Like his features were created. I was like, so the way Bartos has always described Xanther Vang was he looks like a human. He kind of sounds like a human. He's shaped like a human, but when you get closer to him, it looks like thousands of worms, maggots or worms or however you want to describe them, sort of clustered together in a person shape. And when he talks, like the worms move like in the way of a mouth would. And when he has eyes that, sort of like wormy looking eyes and that kind of thing. He usually wears robes and stuff. It's almost as if he doesn't necessarily want to advertise this, that he's made of worms. But yeah.
Hard on dates.
His fingers are sort of like worms that extend out, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that doesn't play well on a Tinder account.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Swipe left.
Is this guy made of worms? Yeah, I don't know.
I swear to God, if another dude shows up, just totally made worms. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Well, his picture is all sort of like photoshopped, so it's like the worms are all smoothed out, He's really far away, big hood.
And he's got all those stupid things people do, the filters.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got big
Guys.
doe eyes and yeah.
He got his big emo sayings on his.
Okay. Got it.
I'm gonna use stealth to touch lightly across these things and come this way.
Okay. It's difficult terrain, so you have to sort of pick and choose your way through.
That's why I'm using stealth
yeah.
kind of to be light about it. Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, you can do that. Hold on. I've gone too far. I've done too much. Hold on a sec. We'll just go do it this way. All right. There you go. All right, yeah. So otherwise, then that cavern looks like a normal cavern, but it ends up stopping. There looks to be some sort of, when you get to that end there, that sort of flat area, it looks to be some sort of, well, you're on the opposite side of it. So there's like these wood beams that are sort of come across, and it looks like some sort of gate mechanism. And then on the opposite side, there's like some sort of platform, and then it looks like there is stone sort of adhesive to the gate mechanism.
So a secret door.
Well, it could be, I guess. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, it's easy for you to see because you can see. I mean, you're on the side with the gate.
I see the inside, right?
There's like a thing. I mean, there's a rope that you can sort of pull it open. At least what you think is an opening mechanism.
I'm looking for traps.
You don't see any traps, not even with a natural twinzo.
Go ahead and pull the rope.
Okay, it takes you a minute because the moment you start pulling on the rope, you realize that this gate is very heavy. So you're like, it takes you a while to crank it up. But when you open it, you see that you find yourself outside in the canyon. This looks like the gate that they were moving people in and out of when you guys were getting harassed from behind by Templars and stuff. This was the area where they were doing that.
Well, that's good to know.
So if I look at this gate, would it be planes, religion? Would either of those help?
Planes, I think, would be
know more about it.
Yeah, it would be helpful.
30.
Yeah. So this, I mean, from your point of view, this is definitely a gate mechanism. You recognize a lot of the runes as being, of extraplanar origin, guidepost runes, things like that. You do not, unlike what Farina said earlier, where they found a gate. You don't think that this was found. You think this was put here, probably by Vang, but by somebody. You don't think this was something that was occurring here. They put that here. Now, you also see that, like I mentioned before, a lot of the runes are sort of inscribed in the stone. Some of them are painted over with similar kinds of paints or inks or pigments that you've seen in other areas, especially like Vang's room, and also like the runes on the backs of the doors and stuff. Similar kind of rune structure and similar kind of pigments that are being used. Your guess is that this is a portal gate. You can't tell from the runes where it was going, but it looks like it can be. It could be used in a variety of ways to a variety of places, depending on how the runes were restructured and what sort of magics were cast upon it.
So, do I think that there's a chance that this gate would take you to, and I can't pronounce it, whatever that Alushavla city that you were looking for?
Alushrina?
There you go.
Alushirna? It's possible. I mean, you're not sure where Vang went. I mean, there's nothing on this portal structure to indicate where it goes to. Your guess is that it's sort of a universalist structure, that this is sort of the raw materials of gating, and where you actually go depends on how you cast the spell and what runes you use to do so. It could go there. I mean, you could be structured to go there if you knew how to get there and you knew the right spells to open a gate in that area. Yeah.
Okay.
The closest bomb to this area, we think is pretty far away, don't we?
It's just to the north.
It's not that far away.
Yeah, depending on the strength of these bombs. But it's also possible, given the structure of this cavern, that depending on the bomb that was intended to destroy that summoning circle, it might not damage this. I mean, it could destroy it all, but who knows? But it might leave this gate available.
Bless you.
And this is less of a constructed area of the temple than a naturally occurring cave.
Right.
And it's very close to the outside of the temple. If you look, like so this is outside. You know that if you go to the right, there's a lot of sort of in this area over here is a lot of canyon area. That's where the that's where the basilisks were. So the front door of the place is probably like right around here.
So when we sent that earth elemental in, he came right into this room.
Well, he went right where you're standing.
He
probably.
would be right where you're standing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something was guarding that and wiped him out as soon as he stepped into it.
Well, remember behind you, you have those cleverly placed rocks,
Right.
which would have
Provided
been,
cover and set up for an ambush.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, even in normalized guard post. This was, and so you are in Black Adept territory. This wouldn't be necessarily where the Templars hung out.
Right.
So it could easily have been a magical ambush.
No. But this gate might survive the explosion.
It's well outside the main barrier, the main borders of the temple itself.
And we are taking that last bomb from that one guy by the summoning circle, right?
If we remove that bomb, then there's a really good chance this whole side of the thing survives.
Is that what we want?
The middle of it's gone because that huge bomb attached to that big
Yeah, that we can't get to that.
that's
guy.
going to wipe everything in that area.
Yeah.
We can tell people at Drezen to come here and, set up an outpost here and try to take it over and salvage what can be salvaged.
It is a very defensible place.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do anyway, is expand, right?
Yeah. They put a redoubt here or something.
And the original idea for leaving the bomb by the summoning circle was to destroy it. But if we want to try and use this gate, and who knows, maybe the information that we need to dial the gate to the right city is in that bag, then yeah, maybe we'd want to protect this area.
That's a good point too.
Yeah.
And this
It's more like an empty gateway. Like I said, it can't do anything on its own. It requires cast spells and do whatever.
yeah, well, you have to know the right number to dial, basically.
I will ask this gentleman if he doesn't mind. I'm going to take the amulet off of him.
bomb.
I'm sorry, the what?
The bomb.
Oh, the bomb. Yeah, so when you get close to him, you realize that he's saying the same thing. I'm a 30-second bomb. I'm a 30-second bomb. But yeah, he does not resist you in any way as you sort of unstrap it.
Just, unstraps that and then keeps telling him, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not.
Not anymore. Not anymore. So what do you
And then
do
I
with
give
that
it to
bomb? So where
I
are
give it
all
to
the bombs?
Storm.
Give it to Storm. Storm's going to take it back outside and put it up on the plateau about 200 feet away from the edge.
200 feet east. Okay. And so all these bombs are like in a pile?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It's going to make a nice big,
Small mushroom bomb.
little mushroom bomb up there.
Now you have not the only bomb. So at this point, the only bombs that are still in the complex are the ones in the Baphometian temple that has the thing and the live construct creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones left.
Provided the things that we've taken off all these things are the bombs, and then the bombs aren't the people themselves.
Oh,
Right.
that's a ugly thought, Lothar.
Well, they keep saying I am a 30-second bomb.
That's true.
We can
Maybe
take all
the
bodies out.
flasks are a diversion.
They don't say I'm holding a 30-second bomb.
Well,
It's
if you
true.
want, we can put all the bodies up there too.
No.
Well, you have a pile of bodies out front. You haven't killed the other guys. You just sort of let them stand there.
And took what we think are the bombs off of them. Yeah.
Right.
Let's do the storm trick where it takes the forge and everything, and then get the elemental to get the bag.
I'm ready. So everybody else is heading outside or what?
So yeah, we're all. What are we?
I'm outside.
I'm going to move way back up here. So are we going completely out of the front door and standing sort of out that way?
Backing up the forge.
Yeah, it takes a little while, probably 45 minutes to get that all packed up. But yeah, you eventually do, and you're just like, I can't pack anymore.
And on to Storm. And then at that stage, Bardos, Storm, and you said one other person or two other people can go with
One
you?
other person.
I'll be right back.
You going with Bardos?
No, I heard a sound in the back of my house. So if I don't come back, then call the police. Be right back.
Okay.
Okay. We'll take your camera with you so we can.
Yeah, take
Yeah,
your
we're
camera
recording,
with
so if there's a murderer there, we'll get it all
I
on
want
tape.
I like a Blair Witch thing where you just see half my face.
I don't know how a camera works.
We see him standing in the corner later. It's like, oh no! That's a Blair Witch reference.
Farina, Otto, do you want to come out this way? You want to go out the front with everyone else? What do you want to do?
I'll go out front with everyone else.
All right.
Okay.
So before that, is anyone else besides Storm and Bardos teleporting back to Drezen with the laboratory gear?
Yeah, like I said, one more person can go with them, and they don't have to endure the,
The
6
long flight, the 6-hour flight back.
6 or 8 hour flight.
It's like flying from New York to LA. Only you're outside the plane.
Only you're outside the plane.
And no peanuts.
Yeah.
Gato, why don't you go?
I'm good staying on the ground. I'm not interested. I can.
What do you say, Gato? You gonna hitch a ride with Bardos back to civilization? Before this, or do you want to see the bombs go off?
Who tells me to go? Because I mean, I'm real far from
Fletcher
everyone
says
now.
you go ahead and go. We should leave spellcasters behind. We'll wait.
Okay, so I take off and I come up, and where's?
Back in that room that you giggled
Yeah,
last time. that you
nice storm.
in there.
Nice storm. Say that, she will give you the evil eye.
I know. There's nothing I can say to this.
She was
Thing.
fine until you said nice storm, and then she was like over her head. And
Everything okay, Matt?
Yeah, it's just cat knocked his pizza box off the recycling bin.
All right,
And shivved you.
that's a sentence I've never.
Unless
the cat that can make a shit.
the person doesn't.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I just stick Brew in my coat pocket. He doesn't count as a.
No.
Okay. He's coming with you.
Of course he is. All right, and who's summoning the Earth Elemental?
I am, but I can't do
Well,
it.
okay,
until they get there, and I can dismiss Storm.
All right. So Bardos,
Got it.
Gato, and Storm essentially are like, "See ya," and they disappear.
With everything out of that room.
Yes, with all of the stuff strapped onto
3 days later, we get there.
Yeah. Strapped
Oh no,
on.
it's teleport here. Okay.
Let me refresh my screen while you guys think about what to do.
So what's
Were
going
you,
to
were you
happen
guys going back to Dresden? Is that where you're going?
after they get back and everyone's off of Storm, I'll dismiss Storm. So then I can conjure an Earth Elemental, and I'm going to conjure him right here with me being the only one in here, and basically point to the stuff on the desk and say, after I get outside, come up from underneath the ground, grab that bag, drop down, and head due west, because that's away from the explosion. And basically do that way for about 100 feet, and then circle back around and come out the cavern wall and come find us.
Okay, so you just want us to head out to the south and wait for you out there, or do you want
Yeah, just
some?
wait out front, and then we need something unique that Lothar can divine on, just in case something goes wrong. It's just got to be something unique. All the divination spells is something that Lothar knows of, but we don't want it to be valuable because, yeah, it might get crushed.
Should you bring one of the people out there so you can check the timer?
No.
We'll just put them like in the middle of the stack of bombs and just listen to what they say.
I'm a 22-second bomb.
A 22-second. That's funny.
That's how they work.
So basically, they teleport back, and Illendar is just in contact with Storm, and Storm's going to stay there until they get everything unloaded off of her and everyone's disembarked, so to speak.
Okay.
We go left the temple to the south.
And then when that happens, I'm going to dismiss Storm.
Okay.
So then I can actually use my summon monster summon monster to conjure an earth elemental where I'm at. Everyone else needs to be outside, so unless Flashlight, you're going to walk out with me.
All right. So yeah. So
Yeah, I'm not leaving you by yourself. I'll walk out with you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, hold on.
So me and Flashlight are sitting in here.
Here's your elemental.
Okay.
So where is everybody? So Flashheart, you're staying in the complex.
No, Flashheart is with me.
Right.
Just so I've got an escort on the way out.
I'm with Illendar every step.
So basically, I'm going to point into the desk to the Earth Elemental and tell the Earth Elemental, after we're outside, I want you to tunnel underground, come up right underneath that desk, grab that bag, drop back down, and Earth glide directly to the west as fast as you can for about 100, 150 feet.
Okay.
Once you get there, then turn south and come back out and get in the cavern, into the canyon, and we will be somewhere close to there, and then bring us that bag.
How will I know you're outside?
Give me 60 seconds from the time you can't see us.
All right. I can do that.
Swatch
Count
watch
to
on.
60.
After you can't see us, count to 60. Then, like I said, drop down, go under, pop up under the desk, grab the bag, drop down, due west, and then circle back around and pick us up.
And
give
this
us
is a
the
dumb
bag.
question, but he can drag the bag through the ground without it being damaged.
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, what he'll do is he sort of wraps it
Yeah, wraps himself around it.
and like burrows through,
Yeah.
and Earth glides through the stone.
Okay.
So,
All right.
So I tell him that.
So he says, "Go in now," right? And he begins moving.
Start walking out. He starts following me. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm coming with you."
Come with you.
No. You stay here and keep him from escaping.
No, he just runs right in the room, grabs the bag, and is like, "Let's go."
I'll
But
see
he
if
starts
Skrillex
off
wants
by
to take
screaming.
any final blessing from Iomedae before I head out of here.
Okay. Where are the rest
Twist
of
the
you?
knife on the demon.
Or right where you just put us.
Out front.
Yeah, the elemental
Yeah,
screams,
alert.
Leroy Jenkins.
Alert!
So you guys
The
are going to
GM is
stay in the
asking where you
canyon.
are.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably in the canyon, probably pretty far. Yeah, just outside there, because that's where that guy's going to circle back around and come back to us.
Okay.
So basically, as soon as I tell him give us 60 seconds before he does that,
All right.
then Flashheart and I are going to kind of hightail it out the front door
All right.
and to the rest of the party.
All right, so you join up with the rest of the party. You figure probably 40 seconds have passed, and because you guys are hustling, getting out of there. Do you guys gather up and keep moving, or you stand there and you're gonna watch the fireworks, or?
No, this is back down over here, probably a little bit further southwest than what this map can show.
Okay.
Is where we're gonna wait.
You're just gonna haul down that canyon the way you came.
Yeah,
in.
just a little ways, and that's where he's supposed to come back around and find us and give us the
All right,
book.
sort of like to the west somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. I mean, you guys are sort of moving. You guys all. Okay. Hold on. Let me check.
They're
something.
east of this map, so.
Okay. Real quick.
And we've given him something.
That's if I send you anything, worry about it later.
Yep. All right. I see it. Okay.
Last thing we did is we gave him something unique that we can identify.
Like what?
One of my gloves.
Marked in it. You just scratch a coin or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Scratch
right,
a coin with my initial in it, and just the coin with my initial in it, and give that to him.
Okay. After about 60 seconds, you guys are moving away from the. So what do you guys see right now?
See a timer?
Okay, good. So you guys are moving away, and you're like, it feels like it's been much longer period of time. You're not sure what happened. Like maybe something failed. You're not entirely sure what's going on, and you're just starting to think. Fletcher being notoriously impatient is just like this. Boom. kaboom! You hear it go off.
Do I
about
feel
that-
anything at Castle Dresden?
No, but Fletcher. I mean, so you guys are all sort of like wandering around. Fletcher turns around and is like, "I don't know that it worked," and all of a sudden, kaboom! Now you hear it from where you are. It's more like this. It's almost like. Has anybody ever been in an earthquake? There's like this low rumble.
Sounds like a train coming.
Like a big
Yeah,
train.
it sounds like a train coming, and you can feel the ground underneath your feet. And you're about probably 200 feet from that secret door that went into the cave area where the construct was hanging on the hooks. And you see there's like maybe another 5 seconds, and then you see this huge sort of like of like particulate matter and smoke and rocks come shooting out of that hallway. At the same time, about 500, 600 feet away, up on the top. So you guys are down in the canyon. Up on the top of the plateau, you hear this crack, and then like, bam, 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 bam. And then you see this column of fire just go straight up into the air, which is clearly visible from where you guys are standing. It forms like sort of a weird, not a mushroom cloud, but a weird sort of like explosive cloud. And then you were like, well, that's odd. And then you're just like, oh no, and you kind of put your hands over your head because there's a lot of like rocks and debris falling down into the canyon from that have been blown up into the air, have now fallen back down into the entire region. You suspect that there is a significant crater now up on the top of the thing. You don't see it from here, but you can hear what sounds like a pretty substantive piece of the canyon wall down the way sliding off and crashing into the canyon floor. So you think that the bombs, the collection of the bombs set off, fractured the stone in such a way that a piece of it slid off. It takes probably 20 or 30 seconds before that vibration kind of like pops down, and then it's sort of silence, and there's like sort of dust everywhere, and you can see, now it's not a column of fire so much as it is a column of smoke and ash that looks like it's just sort of like squirting up into the air. And you guys kind of look around and you're like, I guess it worked. You do not see the earth elemental.
Am I still in contact with him?
Yeah. He's like, that big explosion.
Sorry about that. Guess
What happened?
Shall I come to where you are? I am still in the stone.
Yeah.
And it's just like a minute or two, and then sort of it just like sort of like pops out of this canyon wall. It's like boink, and he comes lumping over to you, and he opens up his arms, and there, covered in sort of like this weird reddish stone dust mud kind of thing, is the bag, which he hands you.
I said, "Where's the coin?"
I'm keeping the coin.
I'm keeping the coin. It's mine.
I like
All
it.
right.
What coin? I was talking to God earlier. He gave me some tips. No, he will give that too if you want it back. So he's like, "Will that be all, Master?"
Yes, I tell him he's served very well. I thank him and send him away.
Okay. He disappears. But yeah, you guys got the bag. Now,
And then I
you're
spend a
not sure,
minute-
based on the...
conjuring storm back up.
Okay. And Storm is there. And she looks at you. She's like, what the hell happened here? Did you guys set off those bombs?
We happened.
Well,
Man, I'm so glad that dragon is out of here. Can't slap me.
all the way back in Drezen.
He pops in.
Took a while to get the 60 miles, but it's there. But yeah, so Storm takes off and sort of flies up and kind of overflies the thing and kind of not by the column of smoke and ash that's going up, but sort of near it and checks it out, and basically comes back down to you and says, yeah, there's a huge fucking crater up there where those bombs went off. There's a couple of big pieces of canyon wall that have fallen into the canyon to the east, not where you guys are. You guys were far enough away.
Right.
You guys know that there's a lot of like shit has fallen back out of the sky, little pebbles and stuff like that, and a ton of dust and probably smoke came out of this tunnel right here.
Mm-hmm.
So, frankly, you are dubious that any of those people that were left in there could have survived that. Now,
I'm not really worried about that.
now the state of the temple, you're pretty sure it did not collapse. And Storm will tell you that he did not see any sort of lowering of the stone or anything like that would indicate collapse up on the plateau. But there certainly was an enormous bomb went off in there and destroyed a lot of. It would have had to have destroyed a lot of internal stuff in there. Your guess is, considering how much crap came out of that hallway, that anything inside was probably killed. Especially since they weren't in a place, in a psychological region where they could escape.
Right.
So this secret door that's now open.
Mm-hmm.
Not very secret now.
It's not a secret now, yeah.
How bad is the air at this point in this hallway? I mean, obviously there was.
It's filled with particulates and smoke.
Okay.
I mean, you could probably go in there. You would definitely want to put something over your mouth.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. To scarf whatever, wrap it over my face.
You gonna go in there?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm going to tell these guys. I'm going to
Why
go
are
in.
you gonna go in there?
I'm going to go in and see if the gate survived.
Okay.
Don't go alone, because there's a
Tell me
big ass
that-
golem in there
If you
too.
tell me that beforehand, before I send the golem away, I can send the golem there to look.
You mean the elemental?
Yeah,
that too.
your stone
Big golem.
elemental.
Yeah.
I just want to know if the gate survived.
Yeah. I can just send him in and say, look, go down there, look in there, and see if there's a stone archway.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
I'm happy to stay out of harm's way. I just want to know.
Yeah, I don't want my healer in there.
I don't want the squishies up front. Les?
Yep.
I'll get up one of my chalks here and start writing our. This production brought to you by the Fellowship of Unwilling Participants.
FUP blew up this temple. Suck it, Baphomet. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
All right, so you're gonna walk in there then, Lothar?
No.
Well, no, he said he.
The earth. Before I said let the earth elemental go, I just had him go back in there.
All right, so he would come back and he would go in there, kind of noodle around a little bit. He's gone for a little bit. He would come back out and say, "The archway is still there. The creature is unhooked from the rack and laying on the ground. There are rocks and rubble that were not there before."
Okay, so it got shaken up and probably stuff fell off walls and ceiling, but still.
But the gate's still there.
It looks like it, yeah. At least that's what the elemental told you.
Okay.
So
Gates closed. Elemental out front should have told you.
If we kill that creature, do we get all the experience points? Doesn't matter, does it?
You guys want to talk experience points?
I think
No, she was saying
we
if
got
we-
experience points for all the dead creatures.
now, if we kill the non-animated construction, do we get all the experience points? Because those are big baddies.
We do want to talk experience points.
It did seem inert. It wasn't moving. It didn't seem. It was hooked on a rack, and according to the elemental, it sounds like it's fallen off the rack, but it doesn't. It's come unhooked, but it doesn't. I mean, the earth elemental went in the room and it didn't attack him, so it may not be a combatant in the experience point sense.
Right.
We do want to talk experience points.
Yeah. If there's nothing else, then we'll probably load up.
Okay.
Get ready for our flight back to Drezen.
Well,
Okay.
here's the thing. Here's my question.
Everybody who has to pee, go now.
If we have the information in the bag about the city in the abyss that we need to find,
Mm-hmm.
would it be worthwhile having Farina cast her shelter? One of the mages, you or Bardos, read through the book that the demon said
Bardos
he
isn't
left
here.
us. Oh, you then. Read through the book and determine if it gives us what we need to use the gate to where do we need to go.
Illendar will be very thankful that you think that much of him,
No.
but he will tell you, I'm the pretty one. Bardos is the smart one.
Hey.
Yay.
So we might have to fly back out if that's the case.
Everybody's so sensitive.
Well, no. What all I'm thinking of is we've got a
I mean, I can do a check, but
we've got a set number of days to where I'll no longer be able to resurrect the priest that we left in gentle repose. So if we can save some time by, I mean, if we find out that this book tells us the combination to use that gate to immediately get where we need to go, then at that point it might be worth getting the guys back from Drezen and going straight from here, as opposed to taking the 8 hours there and 8 hours back and whatever.
well, we're stuck taking 8 hours back just because even if Bardo wanted to come back to us,
Well, he can teleport, and he
But-
can teleport by himself with one other person
right?
easily without storm. He can
But he
teleport.
can't do that until tomorrow.
I thought he had a second one.
Well, we didn't tell him to do that, and we've got
Ah.
really no way to tell him to come back.
Yeah, good point.
The plan was we were going to join him there, and he's kind of
Back up
already
in
probably
Drezen.
getting the forge ready to go.
Yeah, okay.
Cell phone service out here isn't very good.
Yeah,
I can't get a signal.
there's
No
not many cell
towers.
towers out here.
Damn 2G.
It's like half G out here.
Yeah,
All right. Like I said, I'm just trying to shortcut time because we're on
Right.
Yeah.
we're on kind of a tight schedule.
It's a good point.
Well,
So you guys,
can't you just keep casting that?
well, you got to have
Or
the
you gotta
body.
limit-
I'd have to go back to the body. I mean, I could go to the body, cast it again, give us another 18 days, I guess. But
That, if I remember right, that place isn't too far out of the way.
it's kind of a long-
Delamere's tomb
We didn't have to
is.
divert too far out of the way to go there before we came here.
It was. Well, let's have a look. That's a good question. Where is Delamere's tomb? I don't know.
So if you want to, we could just take an extra hour or two of flight and just, yeah, it's not too far out of
There's
the way.
Delamere's tomb right there. So yeah, it's about I would say probably 35 miles from where you guys are right now. But yeah, it would be a short.
Out of the way, it's a
Side
short
trip.
detour, right?
Yeah, I mean using storm, it would be it wouldn't be a large.
It might add an hour to our flight, maybe.
So we stop there, re-repose the corpse, go
Yep.
back to Drezen, figure out how we're going to get to this abyssal city.
Yep.
And then I guess if we need to, we could go there to do it again before we leave, to keep sort of artificially extending the time.
Reset the 18-day clock.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
Yep, we can do that.
But more importantly, experience points, and that's my note to you.
So experience points, you guys got like it was like 400 apiece, something like that.
Like three. Like three.
Check it out.
Well,
A
plus
whole
bonus.
400? Good Lord.
All right, so I'm going to assume you guys are going to load up and start the long flight to Delamere's tomb and to Citadel Drezen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay.
have this wagon train. Let's roll out. That sounds more Optimus Prime. I was thinking about Shake Some Dust from Carnival.
All right, let's look at experience points. So, so for the initial attack on the fortress, you each got close to 21,500 experience points, plus the return, managing to get the bag without killing each other, and finding the planar gate. That's an extra 5,000 for each of you. So all of you, those of you who weren't 9th level before, are 9th level now. And several of you, and I want to say Farina, Lothar, Flashheart, and Fletcher are close to 10th.
How many experience points do I get for killing Gato?
You
Because
get,
I'm pretty close to a level at this point.
I think you get 2175 for that.
Nice.
Wow. We still have a raised dead spell, so we can do it again.
Actually, so what I'm going to do is because you guys managed to puzzle this out and you did great and caused a fair amount of destruction, I am going to give everyone an extra 3,400 experience points.
Really? That's
So-
generous.
Does what?
So everybody close gets 10th level, basically.
Nice.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Let's see how that works out. Boom. So yeah, Flashheart, Fletcher, Lothar, and Farina will all move to 10th level, and the rest of you will move up an equal amount towards 10th level.
Woot woot.
All right.
Levels and
All right.
Was
And
that
I
a
didn't-
double jump for Farina?
Yep.
Ray was temple.
And I didn't have to dispel evil on Gato. Perfect.
Is dispel
not
evil in
evil.
quotes? It's like he's holding like a morning star. He's going, this is what I call dispel evil.
I'm a simple caravan guard that's helped.
Simple caravan. It's nothing simple about you. All right, cool. So, so you guys get back to Drezen, and a couple of things happen. So, first of all, welcome to the end of Book 3. You guys just completed Book 3, and you are now moving into the latter half of this adventure path. So we move into Book 4. Very interesting things afoot. You have a lot of interesting. So you get back and you get a chance to examine the papers. You get back to Drezen, and so you get together with the Dwarven war leadership, the Crusader leadership, Geyer, and those guys, and those papers, the military plans and stuff like that. They immediately recognize these as being invaluable to the war effort, and they immediately scoop them up and say, "Hey, we got to get these to the front lines as quickly as possible. This is very timely stuff. We're going to get that out." So they've already picked up from the point of view of delivering things magically. So they basically pop that over. Not too long after that comes back a message for you guys in the same manner, where it just sort of pops into existence, from Queen Galfrey and a couple of people on her senior command saying, wow, I need to talk to you guys. I'll be coming to Drezen to speak with you soon. I have secured an item of significance, something that we believe can shut down the Whirlwind.
Hand of Vecna.
Well, it's the head of Vecna.
Oh, okay.
So they need a paladin of Iomade to put it on. Have secured an item of significance, something that we believe can shut down the world wound. We need to meet as soon as possible to discuss how that will work.
They send a message back saying, we'll check our schedule and let you know.
Yeah, hold on. I got to check my, as the English say, we got to check my diary and see how that works. All right. So in the meantime, you guys pop open the copy of Vang's journal that Grizzleby made for you, or said he made for you. Now you really don't know. I mean, this guy's a demon. He's got a fly's head. I mean, I don't know how trustworthy these fly people are. They're abyssal, they're chaotic evil. It's a whole ordeal. So, but there's some very interesting shit in that journal. You guys are flipping through it. And there's a couple of things going on.
Let's face it, Bardos is the smart one. He's flipping through it.
Yeah.
Bardos is flipping through it.
The rest of us are waiting for crib notes.
Okay. So part of it is a lot of formulas and foci for and ideas and margin notes on the idea of refining Nihydrian crystals. And you guys will remember that Vang was one of the guys who was sort of like the point of the spear when it came to turning those Nihydrian crystals into something usable for the demons. And he had somehow come across this, you had heard that he'd come across this process that you could take these crystals and convert them into something. Now, their first efforts were flawed, and it killed more demons than it saved. They tried it out on animals. You guys met that chimera that had all the crystal pieces in its body and all this other stuff. But they had, as you go through and sort of, he outlines the process a little bit. And basically he's saying, look, you're getting more sophisticated, that kind of stuff. And they've gotten to an elixir, essentially, a serum that is essential. It doesn't have the mutagenic properties. It doesn't have some of the problems associated with earlier works. It basically will either kill you or it'll give you mythic power. One of the two.
Which we have one of those.
At which you guys
don't drink it.
Yeah, you guys feel like you have it. You could drink it. if you want to, I guess. Oh,
I was told not to.
And look, I don't want to interfere with you guys drinking a Nihydrian elixir in any manner. If you guys want to do that, that's your choice. But basically, they said not only can we make this, not only have we sort of perfected the idea of making these elixirs, but they also think that they can use this Nihydrian raw material to make other things. Their first effort was a chisel that you guys remember from Kenebris. There was a demon that tried to use a Nihydrian chisel on the Wardstone to knock out the Wardstone network, and you guys had to go in there and sort of put a stop to that. According to this journal, Vang believes that other things of this nature, other tools, maybe weapons, can be created out of this Nihydrian crystal raw material, this powder or whatever they convert it into, and that he's got some ideas from how that works. And so, when you start reading some of these things about creating weapons with this kind of power associated with them, I mean, it sends a chill down your back. Can you imagine fighting demons with Nihydrian weapons? I mean, the magical capabilities and the power of those weapons would be significant. I'm sorry?
Isn't it inherently evil? Aren't the crystals evil, or are they not inherently?
Your bet is that it is. There are a couple other eyes and deals, and then one of them that you think is even more scary than the idea of Nihydrian weapons is Vang has basically put together what he considers to be a process, and it's almost written in the form of a proposal of where he can use this raw material to build a golem, a Nihydrian golem, which is essentially be a creature composed entirely of Nihydrian crystal, imbued with some sort of lifelike force, and sent out to do, harm, that kind of thing. Such a creature would be
damn near unkillable.
Yeah, it would be insane. It would be the kind of creature that would stand against armies. But you guys are an alchemist, but you're like, this guy knows his shit, and if he's got a process for this that he thinks might work, there's a better than even chance that it probably would. Now, it doesn't indicate whether they've started on this or not, but it's certainly something that he's considered and he's thinking very seriously about. Second, there's a portion of the journal that talks about the trafficking of Nihydrian crystals and how that works, the flows of back and forth. Nihydrian crystals aren't native to the prime material plane. Nihydrian crystals come from the abyss, and they have to be mined and they have to be processed and then brought here to the prime material plane, distilled in whatever way that Vang or whoever is doing it does it, and then converted into elixirs or whatever. The journal seems to be very it seems to indicate that while Vang may have previously done the distillations himself and ran the process personally, but he's more now of an idea man, and that they have a setup somewhere else for the actual processing and distillation of Nihydrian crystal. And it's run by somebody named Minagao, which is at some sort of other, in the journal, undisclosed location. This location also houses a nexus gate, which is a more or less permanent gate that is kept open between the prime material and the abyss, probably not large, but large enough where they could bring the crystals from the abyss over to the prime material plane. It's probably right there where they process them, and then they feed these things out into the world wound to be used. The crystals themselves are mined in the abyss, and as Vang's journals makes clear, they are essentially the fossilized blood of demon lords that have been killed in the abyss. These demon lords are killed in time immemorial. They are buried in the earth or somehow converted into these crystals, and those crystals are what are eventually become Nihydrian crystals. These are being mined in the abyss and brought forward. Vang refers to these demon lords as donors. It takes a minute for you guys to sort of wrap your head around, because the way Vang talks is very strange. Bardos is very helpful in this regard, but he refers to them as donors, but you don't have any idea who these demon lords are, and they certainly aren't named in this journal. It talks a little bit about the nexus, and it connects the world wound with an abyssal location, and he names the abyssal location, and it's a place called the Midnight Isles, and it's run by a demon lord named Noticula.
Did you say Midnight Island?
The Midnight Isles.
Isles.
Oh, wow.
Like
ISLES.
islands. Yeah, ISLES.
Sound like a club you want to get to.
Yeah, the Midnight Isles. Where'd you guys go last night? I went to the Midnight Isles. It was awesome.
Dude, it was banging, dude. Demons were everywhere.
Shit rocked. But it's run. That whole area is run by a demon lord named Noticula, who is, according to Vang's journal, holding up mining operations in that theater of operations. She doesn't. He goes into a fair amount of detail about all that. Although it's clear that Vang isn't involved in this, but essentially the Baphometians are trying to pull out of the stops to get Noticula to sort of buy into the alliance so that they can lock down the mining rights and delivery, sort of the ability to move across the Midnight Isles.
Chain of supply,
Yeah, they're essentially locking down chain of supply. So far, they haven't been successful, at least according to what Vang writes here. He personally couldn't care as long as everything keeps coming, and it sounds like that they haven't lacked for Nihydrian crystals, but it sounds like also that they haven't got an agreement in place with this Noticula. New attempts at finding new sources, new mines are being sort of formulated. This is being done by Minigao and Hepsamira. Hepsamira, you have heard that name before. She was in charge of the Baphometians before she handed over to Vang. Vang was one of her chief lieutenants. She's actually a daughter of Baphomet. Minigao, he writes a little bit about Minigao herself. Essentially, she's trying to repair her reputation amongst her Baphometian superiors after the Wardstone. It was her that tried to knock out the Wardstone network with this Nihydrian chisel. You guys sort of foiled that plan, and so she's been trying to sort of rehabilitate her reputation with her bosses. And
that's embarrassing that a bunch of first and second level dudes foil your plan.
Can you imagine? I mean, I'd be embarrassed if I was a relatively powerful demon trying to get things done, and a bunch of newcomers shows up for a festival and ruins my entire plan.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like. It's like having some teenagers from a rave come out and get you fired from your job. But he talks a little bit about
gotten
her.
away from it too. Aren't you darn kids?
If it wasn't for those kids from the rave. So she's mad about that. She definitely Vang definitely mentions that she knows who you guys are. Hepsamira is a daughter of Baphomet. She's in charge. She used to be in charge of the Templars, and she's supposed to be overseeing the quote unquote the mining operations that aren't taking place, even though Nihydrian crystals are still coming across the Nexus. So it sounds like even as they negotiate with this Noticula, that Hepsamira's guys are still doing off the books mining and moving the stones through the Nexus into the prime material plane for refining. So
Wait, are you saying that demons are cooking the books?
Could be some book cooking going on there.
What will they stop at?
So Vang goes on. He says, Hepsamira and Noticula are not friends, but Hepsamira thinks that she can win over Noticula. She just needs to be. It just needs to happen sooner to get to get more stones flowing. You got to get those. If they are mining them surreptitiously, it's probably not nearly as much as they could mine if they had full access to the mine under the approval of Noticula, which she has not given. So they want to improve that process. They think that Hepsamira is of the mind that she can win her over, but she hasn't yet. So that's most of what's contained in the journal. So a lot of information there. A couple other items. You guys obviously still have the flask of Nihydrian distillation. It's the latest version, which means the safest version. And frankly, as Gatto pointed out, it could be a path to mythic power for one of you. If you were to
As I recall, we labeled it Cure Moderate Wounds just to make sure we kept it safe.
left it on a table back at Drezen.
Yeah, mix it up with the other ones.
Okay.
Russian roulette kind of thing.
It has been 19 days since Illendar was brought back from the dead. He has 346 days left. Today is Neth 18. It's the first snow in Drezen, as you guys are going over all this stuff. The first snowfalls of November fall in the city of Drezen. So you do a little research, and you can find out some information about the Midnight Isles. There's a little bit of history and that kind of stuff. Arilu,
Actually, the research I'm going to do is go talk to Erastil, since she's from the Abyss.
so yeah, she could tell you some of this stuff. So she will tell you that Arilu Vorlesh, who is a follower of Discari, not of Baphomet, was very involved in the Canebris attack, which you guys knew, but it also was the one who discovered the uses. She's the one who discovered the uses of the Nihydrian crystals, which she used on herself, the first batch. Now, she survived the process. She also discovered the vein of crystals in the Midnight Isles that Hepzibah and her team want to get a hold of, very pure crystals. This would be, very much would allow them to create a lot more of this distillation, because they don't have to re-refine out the impurities. It would make it a very safe sort of distillation to use. So Vorlesh is allied with Hepzibah, and they had started a secret mining operation on an island called Vazglar, which is one of the Midnight Isles. Vang helped them both to create a nexus between the mining area and the World Wound, but the journal doesn't have that location, and Erastil doesn't know where it is either. But it gets the crystals out of the Abyss and gets them into what is probably a distillation center right on site. Now, what Erastil says, she had known that Hepzibah and Minigao were working with somebody called Mutasafin, who have the Nihydrian liquor that avoids the mutational effects. You either basically mythic or die, and Erastil had heard about this. Vang devised the modifications to the formula, but it was this guy Mutasafin who was able to make it work on a practical sense. So Erastil would guess that he's an alchemist of note. Whereas Vang, who can do alchemy and is really good at this stuff, is much more of a theorist and a scholar. But it was Mutasafin who made it work. Noticula found out about the Vazglar operation and is screwing with the stone flow. Eventually, Vazglar, the vein on Vazglar Island got depleted right around the same time that Noticula found out what was going on and put a stop to it. Hepzibah essentially at that point started looking around for another Vazglar in a place called Colifir. She went to work while Arilu Vorlesh tried to broker the deal with Noticula. Vorlesh told Hepzibah to go ahead and mine in secret anyway. The nexus is still connected at this place on the Abyssal side called on Vazglar Island. So even though they're getting the stones from a different island, they have to like teleport them over and then move them through the nexus and just keep it all a secret. It's got to stay hush hush from Noticula while the deal's still going on. So it's much more troublesome to get the stones over. So that's what Arilu would tell you. So questions about any of that material? I just threw a lot of lore at you in a short period of time.
Lots of names, yeah.
Basically, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, basically, the Nihydrian crystals are coming to the prime material plane and being distilled here. The raw crystals are being mined in the Abyss at a place called the Midnight Isles. Now, the first mine was on a place called Vazglar, which is one of the isles. The new mine that they think they found is on an island called Colifir, which is not Vazglar, but the nexus on the Abyssal side is on Vazglar. So they have to move the stones from one place to another, and they all have to keep it hush-hush from Noticula, who has not given them permission to do this, even though she runs the place. So they're still trying to negotiate that out so that they can ramp up production, but they haven't yet. But in the meantime, of course, because they're demons and they're chaotic, they've went ahead and still continued mining and moving the stones secretly. On this side of the nexus is probably some sort of alchemical laboratory designed specifically to distill these stones into whatever raw materials are needed to make the elixirs and the other things that they're planning on making.
Wouldn't that be the laboratory we just disassembled?
It would not. That would not be that laboratory. That laboratory was more specifically designed for. It was mostly used for the repair and manufacture of magical weapons on behalf of the Templars. So all those +1 glaives that you guys kept running into, those were manufactured on site in that lab. Now it had a small but well kept alchemical lab, other reagents, various kinds of things that are associated with that kind of stuff. But in your opinion, it was nowhere near the size and scope of a lab that would be required to distill nihydrian crystals.
So I had a couple thoughts here, not really connected, but the first one, for the damaged golem, or the golem that's inert currently, would that be something that Mike, you might be able to remanufacture some means of control for it to take it with us through this plane? It seems like we're going to need all the firepower we get when we get there. And second, how is a paladin going to step on the abyssal plane without being a demon magnet? Is there any histories of Drezen, or that I can find out that there must have been other quests where paladins crossing over the abyssal plane that disguise their ability somehow?
The non-paladin.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, go. What you were saying?
I just said they have a dress that you put on and disguises you so they don't know you're a paladin.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear.
Fake mustache.
A little demon bonnet.
So what Arushli can tell you is about Elushanira, which is the biggest city in the Midnight Isles. She's been there, and so she can tell you about the city. There are dozens of cities, countless smaller towns found in the Midnight Isles. Alushira dwarfs them all. It covers an entire island, an urban sprawl of towers, domes, spires, canals, twisting alleys, that kind of stuff. The bulk of the buildings in this immense city are made of material called porphyry, which is sort of a purple to deep crimson color with highlights of black and white marble. It's a stone. The city's size usually overwhelms visitors from the material plane, but it's built on a scale in which only creatures capable of teleportation will ever truly feel at home. It's a big city. By Noticula's decree, Alushinaria is open to all visitors. Noticula's nickname is the Lady in Shadow, and sometimes Arushale will refer to her that way. But she knows and understands that a vibrant mercantile economy comes power to her. And as one of the largest cities in the Abyss, Alushinaria draws an astounding amount of trade. The city's greatest export is slaves. Mistresses and trainers of Alushinaria travel to the great beyond, gathering all manner of creatures for those seeking new experiences or specialized attentions from slaves serving as guardians, meals, lovers, all three. Magical items, rare spells, fine jewelry, exquisite clothing are also in great supply. But the largest secondary market is Alushinaria's shipyards. The city's canals are thick with ship traffic. Travelers from the abyssal realms of Malveria, Mephism, the Slithering Pools, and Vantian come here on a daily basis. Some of the canals flow with the waters of the river Styx, allowing travelers from other planes direct access to certain districts, provided they can navigate the deadly dark waters. Thana demons patrol the canals for Noticula, and Noticula has arranged these skiff piloting demons free access to all of her city's waterways. They eagerly take her up on her generosity and ply their trade in return for souls, and are constantly on the lookout for escaped prisoners to capture and drain of life. These creatures are the closest thing that Alushinaria has to a police force, yet even they avoid venturing below into the city's sewers, a tangled warren of sumps and reservoirs said to connect to the abyssal undersump itself. Whispers persist that the demon lord Jubilex maintains a den somewhere in the deepest parts of the city, as do even softer spoken rumors that Noticula sometimes visit the odious lord of slime. Demons are the most numerous inhabitants of Alushinaria, yet they are far from its only inhabitants. The city swells with millions of their kind, but millions of visitors from throughout the Great Beyond can be found walking the streets or lurking in the alleys. Noticula has little concern for fights that often break out in the city, provided no significant damage is dealt to the city itself. Special note should be made of the city's two most powerful denizens, Noticula and Chimera. While Noticula is the realm's ruler, she is rarely seen traveling within her realm or her city, and spends much of her time within the sprawling expanse of her palace. The House of Silken Shadows, they call it, as I call my palace, here. Otherwise tending to her countless plots. She's never more than a breath away from Alushinaria and depends on her steward, Chimera, to inform her of any significant developments that require her direct intervention. Chimera obviously enjoys a special position in the city as its governor, answering only to Noticula. She is known for her ability to seduce through dreams and prefers to maintain an obvious presence presence in the city, proudly and openly walking its streets. Some people believe that Shamira maintains her high visibility because she hopes that it will aid her in one day being regarded as the true mistress of Alshanair instead of Noticula.
I see that Don's trying to get himself a trip to the emergency room here.
Yeah.
What do you got?
He's got a wild
The cat
animal.
wants me to scratch its ear, but it won't let me near the ear.
Okay. So that's the short version of Noticula and Allocenaria. So basically, to answer your question, Arushal, I would say, is that certainly a paladin of Iomedae would not be banned from Allocenaria, provided
It
they
could be with a prisoner or something like that.
well, as a prisoner maybe, but I mean, certainly you would attract attention, but it wouldn't necessarily be the first time that that a paladin of Iomedae has showed up in Allocenaria. It's more of a commercial city.
Right. So is there a goods in Drezen that would be more demonically focused that wouldn't necessarily hurt us in a war effort, but could be of value to the denizens of the city that we could use as our beard to get in?
I don't know. Potentially, I guess.
Yeah. I guess I could have Gruyere, with cheese, a Geyer. Maybe give me an inventory of items that are not usable by our armies, but might be that haven't been destroyed yet. That might be of use to aid and comfort the enemy.
Okay. Something of value to demons.
Yeah,
Like a
demonic
bunch of
comic
different
books.
glaives.
What's
Like a bunch of other paladins.
Yeah, maybe 30 plus one glaives we got laying around.
I mean, those would be valuable, certainly. I mean, although you might draw attention as to they're covered in Baphometian symbols, so I'd be like, where did you get these? That kind of thing.
Laying around after we
they were
killed
just
the
laying around,
We
Found
follow off the serial numbers before we set them down.
All right, so that's basically Allocenaria in a nutshell from Marushale. You've read Xanther's journal, and I'll send an email out sometime later. Not tonight, probably, but tomorrow, with some of this material in it, so you guys can sort of have a record of it. With that, you get visited by the time comes for the meeting with the Queen Galfrey of Mendev. So essentially, she asks.
So is she a real queen?
She is a real queen, but she's also essentially the leader of the Crusades. But yeah, she's definitely a queen. She's a queen of Mendev.
Oh, okay.
So she shows up with her various entourage guys, some of whom you recognize, some of whom you don't. You guys meet actually in that main room where the Sword of Valor hangs yet, and they've actually made it into sort of a council chamber of sorts, for people to sort of hang out there. So she has a very interesting story to tell. She teleports in and basically says, look, we've found something that we think can be enormously helpful to us. Essentially, it's a book, a rare book and dangerous book that we didn't think existed, and it's called the Lexicon of Paradox. Essentially, and we believe this to be true, this is the same book of forbidden rituals and incantations that was used 100 years ago to initially open the world wound and destroy Sarkoris. We think we have found and obtained that book over the course of the last several weeks. Now, when the world wound was first opened, Aurilu Vorlash, who was instrumental in using this book, tore the book in half, destroyed a portion containing the information on how she opened the world wound so that no one could ever really reverse engineer it. But we think that we might be able to do it. So here's the thing. We need a test. And she shows you, she's got two what look to be thin copper plates that are covered in runes and incantations and densely scribed with equations. And it looks like it's written in Thessalonian. Some of it's written in Abyssal, some of it in Druidic. And she says, basically, look, we've stored the remainder of the book with the Knights of Ozum out of the world wound. We've got it in a safe place. But we brought these two plates here because we think that the magic infusing these two plates combined with a source of magical power should be enough to shut down a rift or a nexus. And if that works, then we can report to Lastwall, to the Knights of Ozen, and that will increase the process of deciphering the remainder of the book, which we hope will ultimately allow us to reverse engineer the process and close the world wound. Here's the thing. We need, when you guys tell her what you guys have found about the existence of the Nexus and Noticula and the Midnight Isles and all this other stuff, she's concerned that if the cults of Descari and Baphomet are able to bring a demon lord of Noticula's power into their sort of alliance, that could be problematic for the Crusade. Especially if it means that that Hepzibah will have free reign to mine as much pure Nihydrian crystal as she can get her hot little hands on and flood it through the Nexus. So as you guys talk, she basically says, look, I think what I need for you guys to do next. And again, you guys are like sort of a commando mission, right? You guys are SEAL Team 6. You guys are the Fellowship of Unwilling Participants 6. So you're like the Queen's commando raiders, right? You're not an army. You guys just go in, fuck shit up, and and then wait for the inevitable explosions. So she's like, look, if we can find this refinery, we have these plates. If we can find the refinery, we can destroy the refinery, we can close the Nexus, and then you guys can go to Alashanira and maybe try and shut down this alliance between Baphomet, Descari, and Noticula somehow. And maybe even shut off the flow of crystals. What do you think? You in? Sound like a plan?
We got to do that soul thing for Illendar at some point, too.
Well, so Illendar, so that comes up. And I think, Illendar, what did I mention? How many days does he have left? So use 19
we
days.
get 10 months.
Yeah, it's 346 days left.
That's not the way he sees it. At all.
Well, so now it comes to you. I mean, you've got an opportunity here. If you strike while the iron is hot, this alliance is not yet
This
completed.
is more important.
It's not yet completed. And I think, Lothar obviously has his interests as well, which may draw him towards Alashanira. If you guys can shut down the refinery and shut down the Nexus, meaning that they have to build a new portal essentially to try and move the stones from one plane from the Abyss to the prime material plane, because they're not in a position to refine them in the Abyss. Because Noticula doesn't know they're supposed to not even know that they're mining them. So they can't set up a refinery there. They have to have it here. If you could destroy it here and close the gate, that fucks up their operation significantly. And then you guys can go and maybe find out where the mine is and ruin that and maybe poison. And if you guys could get an audience with Noticula and tell her what's going on, you can foil that alliance. Keep it from happening, because she will absolutely not like it if she's been played a fool by Hepzibah.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think? Or 300? You guys wait 340 days and then take care of Illendar.
Wait, wasn't
I don't
there
know,
another one too?
Another one, another option C.
No, another quest that we're in. I don't remember now.
I think we
Two.
got.
We got one for Lothar, one for Illendar, and then this thing.
Well, so Illendar's thing is he has 1 year from the time that he was brought back
Yeah, then what's still for Lothar?
to acquire and bring back the Hand of Errant. For Lothar, well, I mean, that's up to Lothar to tell you guys. I don't know.
Well, we never went to Winter Sun on the map, and I have that marked down as our third objective. I know we've gone off course a little bit, but just pointing it out.
And that everybody knows about the thing for Lothar. It's go into that city that I can't pronounce in the Abyss.
Alashanira.
Alashanira, to get back the
Alashanira.
soul of Yesker Helton.
That we accidentally killed.
So
Well,
we
you
wanted to find
accidentally
some
kill him, you
library
smashed his
to
head.
study.
I killed him on purpose, but
But yeah, so go get his soul, bring it back, and put it back in his body. And then there's another personal side to that.
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm sorry, Gato, what was that? Flame striking?
Nothing.
I'm not sure why you'd request that, but I'm your buddy. I'll help.
You just imagine guys outside of Citadel Drezen, and all of a sudden there's a huge column of flame goes shooting into the building. What happened? Oh, I'm sure Gato said something to Lothar they didn't like. He does that all the time.
And the thing about the trip to Alashanira is, unless, I mean, at this point, I've reset the clock 18 days.
Mm-hmm.
I can go back on the way out and reset the clock to another 18 days, or we could go get his body and bring it back here and have priests keep him in repose and extend the clock further. But the whole sort of point of that is we're on the clock.
That's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
This isn't a quest that some queen gave me. This is a quest that my deity gave me. So with or without you guys, he's going to have to do that sooner rather than later.
It's not a quest you have to do. It's a quest you should do if you want Illendar's soul back.
No, that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about it's a quest I have to do if you want me to continue to be able to healing you.
Oh, okay. Well, we should do that one.
Part of that anyway. I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah, this was handed to Lothar. I mean, the impression you get is that this particular job was handed to Lothar by Erastil or one of Erastil's minions.
But that's the one that has to be done within a year.
No, that's the one that has to be done within 18 days.
18 days.
Oh, well, we want to do that one.
I think you made a great point. I mean, if you brought Jesker Helton's body back to Drezen, there are clerics there, priests there of Erastil probably that could continue that gentle repose indefinitely.
However, we still want to do it.
Yeah.
You're still putting a god off.
Yeah, exactly. It's oh look, it's Erastil calling. I'll
be right back.
I'll send him to voicemail and I'll take care of that later.
He's just like, I gotta take this.
Yeah. And then the next time I go, I burst to heal. Erastil goes, fuck you.
But
Let me put you straight to voicemail.
he doesn't understand time the same way. He'll forgive a
The
year
number
or
you're
two.
calling is no longer in service. Please hang up and try your call again.
God. So yeah, there is a time sense. I mean, so on one hand, you've got the potential of closing a nexus and destroying the refinery. I think that's the queen wants. Now, when she talks about closing the nexus, essentially you're talking about using these copper plates. And the fact of the matter is that she will point out is that one plate has to be on either side of the nexus to shut it down. At least that's what we think. Which means if the nexus where they're moving the stones into the prime material plane is at the refinery, and it probably is. It makes sense that it would be. The last thing that you would do after destroying the refinery would be to go on the other side, the abyssal side of the nexus, enact the system that will shut it down, and then you're stuck, sort of in the abyss. Not stuck necessarily, but you would want to buy some insurance there.
Someone is.
Yes. Well, basically she's saying like you guys would be then in the abyss. Then you would make your way to Alashanira to try and find Jesker Helton. There's probably try and shut down the alliance. Try and find the location of the new mines and maybe disrupt that somehow. But it would mean that you guys would be on the abyss rather than here. But as Lothar
that's where we
says,
need to go anyway.
That's where Alashanira, big city in the abyss. That's where you need to go anyway.
Maybe didn't we want to find a library and study up on Alashanira as much as we could, or did we pretty much find all the information we needed from that journal and stuff? I think we found a lot of information in the journal.
Yeah, and I can send out the little thing about Alashanira so you guys can look at it to everybody. You would find material in the libraries and stuff like that. So I'll send that to everybody.
It is.
But then also there's Illendar, and you guys, you have been quested by, in this case, a combination of Iomade, basically Iomade, saying, in payment for me bringing your friend back, He's not even a worshiper of Iomade. He's a worshiper of Desna. But I made a deal with Desna. But part of the deal is that within a year, you guys have to go and find the hand of Eridan and bring it back here. So the story was that when Eridan was killed, his body was broken up into pieces, and those pieces still have magic associated with them. So, and she's been, Iomade is one of the things that she's been doing as a deity has been trying to reassemble the body of Eridan, and stop whoever's using pieces of him to use his power. So what she'll tell you is somewhere in the Underdark, I know in the Underdark the right hand of Eridan exists. Your job is going to be to find it and bring it back to me otherwise I'm sending him back to Desna in a year. And then she went further and said, look, you need to go to Graven Hollow. The librarians at Graven Hollow can help you to locate the right hand of Eridan. And so as a drow, Illendar knows Graven Hollow. He knows the Underdark. He knows that Graven Hollow is a town in the Underdark that is probably a couple hundred miles from Menzoberranzan. So Illendar, you're from Menzoberranzan originally, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know of Graven Hollow and the library there.
Yep.
And you would probably have a pretty good idea of how to get there from here. You would have to travel away, but the thing is, to do that, you have to travel away from the World Wound. Your bet as a drow and a former denizen of the Underdark is probably the best way to get to Graven Hollow is probably a place. There are places in Nidal, Numeria, where Bardos is from, Ustalov, where there are paths to the Underdark that you can take.
Right.
So at this point, Iomade is Billy Mays. But wait, there's more.
That was the bargain you made.
Yeah.
Illendar's okay with putting his off just because he knows he's got a whole year. But that definitely does weigh heavy on him, knowing that, he goes back if that doesn't happen. So
Right.
Who are we going to take on first?
Illendar would say probably, well.
Wait, if it's up to the queen, she says, let's.
Not up to the queen.
What is her
No, wait a second. She's a
what is her
queen.
suggestion?
Gods outreign queens.
Yeah.
Well, in certain cases, we were talking about Lothar being commanded to find Hesker Jelton and that kind of thing. You guys are heading there anyway. The queen will say, look, if you go do the refinery and destroy the refinery and then go and shut down the Nexus, you guys will be on the Abyssal Plain. You guys will be in the Midnight Isles, and you won't be very far from Alushanira. And it might, and that will, two birds, one stone.
Yeah.
And I have the ability to bring us back from the abyss.
You do?
I do.
Nice.
5th level spell, plane shift.
Yeah.
Excellent.
How many people does that take?
Me and 8.
8. Okay. All right. Yeah, you can get back.
So yeah, I would think. Yeah, we head to the city first. Go ahead and screw up the deal. We can.
Well, the
the
refinery first.
Because taking the refinery leads us to the city.
Yeah.
And she's like, and Queen Galfrey is like, we also do want to test these plates. This makes sense. If you guys are going to the Abyss, you go this route as opposed to just plane shifting over there.
Right.
This solves a few problems. You guys are my commandos. I need you.
Yeah, and I think if Illendar can help me retrieve the body of Yesker Helton and bring him to Drezen, where he can be properly looked after by priests.
I can definitely do it, or Bardo could do it too.
Well, I was just thinking load him up on Storm.
Yep.
Because it's nothing like having a dragon flying you around.
Sorry, what?
I said a dragon flying you around. And yes, I chose that plan just for that opportunity.
God, I liked it when he wasn't around.
But
Here's an extra.
that way it also wouldn't take a bunch of time out, because obviously Storm can fly very quickly. We're not talking about taking days out of our greater plan. We're just, half a day to go get him, bring him back, and see that he's tended to.
Yeah.
Because if he can be kept in gentle repose sort of indefinitely, then yeah, we have the extra time to go deal with the refinery. It's still along the path to what I've been told to do as a priest. So it's not like I'm ignoring, I'm just sort of multitasking a little bit.
Right. Well, I would agree with that.
So yeah, Gentle Repose is a second level spell. There are definitely priests at Drezen that could do this spell.
Yeah.
Nope, they're all first and second level.
One thing I want to bring up as part of these things, and I wouldn't do it necessarily in front of the queen, but this probably would have been done beforehand, is I found this ring here at Drezen, and because my memory sucks, I'm going to ask Don and or Les to help me out with this ring.
What? I don't know what kind of help I can be.
This ring.
The signet ring?
Yeah, the signet ring.
So wait a second.
With ancient...
I thought you had that, Don.
Illendar has it now.
Illendar has it.
You gave it to Illendar?
Well, I'll fill you in later, but Illendar discovered it.
Jesus, don't tell Farina.
Don't talk about it in front of the party.
Farina's gonna kill you, man. All right, so the ring. So yeah, so
hey, remember, Illendar found it.
Found it on you.
So yeah, so I mean, Illendar would have consulted Erastil about it, and Erastil would have said that, look, this is court, archaic court abyssal. These runes on this ring. Essentially, what this is a safe passage ring. If you were wearing this ring, essentially what it tells you is that you are untouchable from the point of view of anybody in Illusionera. Essentially, your hand is stamped. This would have been issued by either Noticula or more likely Shamira. That's what this ring does. I can't remember where you guys found it. You guys found it in the temple. So it probably belonged to either Jerabeth or Vang, probably Vang. But yeah, it would, I mean, essentially it's a safe passage.
So we can use that. That'll also help with this excursion.
Yeah. And we're not going to get to it really anytime soon, but for the magic users, can you guys sort of detail what things you're able to create? I mean, an email later is fine, but I'm just trying
pretty
to
much anything.
Sort of plan ahead. Because I would like
anything as a caster level, or level 10 or less.
Because I would like to eventually get away from having to wear armor so I can get my full movement back. But at this point, I can't get a better armor class without pretty much some high level crap. So
actually, I'd love to get my.
Nothing's going to give you better armor class than enhanced armor.
That's not true.
Yeah. Between, like I said, starting several levels ago, Bardo and Illendar have been taking separate. I mean, basically, there's about 6 feats that can make it to where anything you could want could be made.
Yeah, so like you have Craft Wondrous and Craft One and Craft,
And we've been kind of separating those out. And I think at 10th level, Gordon, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at 10th level is when we finally get the last one, I think.
Bardos will get the next one at 10th, and in the next level he goes up. Yeah, he's not there yet, but he's almost there.
So yeah, I think by 10th. And what's that last one we're missing?
I don't remember. I've got wondrous
brew potions.
Scribe scroll.
So I've got wondrous items, and you're getting arms and armor. Is that right? Or you have it now?
Yeah.
Is it staff?
I've got arms and armor.
There's wands, rods, staffs.
Yeah, really, the other ones are. I mean,
yeah, I don't know if we're doing. But basically, yeah, we've got arms and armor. The two most important, or the three most important ones are rings, arms and armor, and wondrous items. And we've got all those right now.
Okay.
Now, they may not be high enough level to create the item you're looking for.
Right.
Right.
Right now, we're stuck at whatever. We can go up to cast level 9.
Right.
So if you look through the book and it says requires cast level 9 or less, and it's one of those 3 categories, we can make it for you.
Yeah, it's just a matter of saving up the money.
Right.
And time.
And
create it.
exactly. And it's not imperative. The armor's fine. It just my movement is 10 slower. And so thus far it hasn't really been an issue with me being able to get around the battlefield for healing, but it could at some point. So
I can cast mage armor on you if you. I mean, that's +4.
right, but the problem is right now my AC is 20. 9 of that is armor. So until I can replace 8 of it, because without armor I'd get my full dex
Be
bonus
like a caster level like 15 or 16 or something like that.
for one item, but multiple items could do that.
Okay.
Like rings and gauntlets and stuff.
Yeah, you do bracers of armor 4 and amulet of natural armor 4, and there's 8.
Well, why don't you? Yeah. So you know which things we can now. Figure out what we can do at our level or around our level, and then we'll
Yeah.
put it on the list.
I'll look into it.
You
Don,
got,
did you get my message?
we get our scrolls and stuff from
Was it in Hangouts?
supply
Oh
list.
yeah.
What's that?
We had a bunch of stuff coming from somewhere else. They were supposed to be delivering to Drezen for us.
Oh, from
Yeah. Whenever we were here, whenever they raised me, we sent the guy out to go get us some stuff.
do you have that
Basically,
list?
scrolls and stuff.
I thought we got that back already.
Well, no, that was the items. The second one was much smaller order, but it was a lot of scrolls that allowed us the spells we need to either augment
Ah,
Got
our
less.
book
okay.
We just ordered enough stuff to get free shipping.
Just barely.
Well, because I remember the one thing that we ordered in the first batch was the phylactery of positive channeling, and I have that. So.
Right. And yeah, that thing was only like 3 items. It was like Farina's bow, your phylactery, and I think something else.
Yeah.
There were 3 major items, but it was just 3 items, whereas this one's just a bunch of scrolls mostly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. If you still have that list that you gave Horgus, remind me. I'll look for it. But
Like I said, it's just a bunch of medium and low level scrolls. So
okay.
it's not so much, it wouldn't be difficult to find. It's just, is 19 days, is that enough time for him to get those for us and get them back?
Gotcha.
I can probably track it down unless I got it somewhere.
Okay. So I found the email about Erastil, basically about the ring. She basically tells you that the writing on it is ancient court abyssal. It's much abbreviated, and no wonder no one could interpret it for you. You'd almost have to be a demon or a native of the abyss to read this thing. It's basically like abyssal shorthand. But what it says is pretty interesting to her. It's essentially a safe passage rite for the city of Alashanera, a large commercial city in the abyss. Alashanera is run by the demoness Noticula, who has essentially mandated an open-door policy in the city for planar travelers. Erastil will also tell you that Noticula has been a comparatively quiet critic of Baphomet and Discari's activities in the World Wound. She'd tell you that it's pretty much common knowledge among demons that Noticula hates Baphomet and wouldn't shed any tears if he were to get snuffed. But yeah, essentially that ring is a safe passage.
There you go.
I'm her Huckleberry. I'm happy to help with that.
So if you guys come to the idea that you're gonna do that, Galfrey is like, look, I know that this is gonna be difficult for you guys. You guys are going to the abyss. This is really troublesome for a lot of things. So she goes, I've got some things for you that may help you there. And basically, the first thing she does is
Not a bunch of those fake glasses with the nose and the mustaches.
yeah, it's essentially Groucho glasses she gives you. No, so Flashheart, Lothar, and Illendar specifically, she has what she calls talismans of true faith. A talisman of true faith looks like a set of 6 black and red hexagons nestled within each other, and when worn around your neck, a talisman of true faith physically transforms into a holy symbol that matches your faith. So for you, Illendar, it's a symbol of Desna. For you, Lothar, it's Erastil. For you, Flashheart, it's Iomade. it can be utilized as a divine focus if you're into that sort of thing. It doesn't take up a neck slot when worn in this manner. But if worn, so as long as it is carried or worn, a talisman of true faith functions as a phylactery of faithfulness, and it grants +4 bonus to concentration checks to cast spells that are impeded by planar traits. There's a lot of things on the Abyss that interfere, but it gives you +4 to those concentration checks. So a phylactery of faithfulness has stuff all its own. So let me do that.
It just sounds wrong, a phylactery of faithfulness.
So this is essentially what it works as. The wearer of a phylactery of faithfulness is aware of any action or item that could adversely affect your alignment and your standing with your deity, including magical effects. You would acquire this information prior to performing such an action or being associated with such an item if you take a moment to contemplate. So essentially it tips you off, and this is especially important for a paladin. It tips you off if you're about to do something that would mess with your alignment. This would be very important for a paladin, also important for a priest of Erastil, because it'll basically, if you're going to cross the line somehow, and like you said, you know, new deity, who dis? This will tip you off beforehand so that you can rethink that path.
Is it a WW fill in your deity here, D?
Well,
yeah,
it works.
What would they do? Like,
of the crew, only Flashheart, Lothar, and Illendar have any specific deities that they are beholden to, essentially.
Yeah, you heathens.
And Illendar is only sort of more beholden to Desna for a couple of reasons. One, Arushale. Two, Desna was willing to send you back. So now suddenly you've got a deity. That's important to you.
I had it before, but now it's a little more active than it used to.
Now it's like suddenly it's much more important. Now for Fletcher and Farina, the Queen has sent for something from the Elvish Lords to help you in your quests. And she looks at you, Gatto, and she says, Gatto, for you, I'm thinking of something special. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
And that way, everybody's going to get something.
So what is this thing called again?
And Bardos, the same for you. She's like, I'm consulting with my guys to find out something, that would help.
So she's got like the Wizard of Oz bag, and she's pulling stuff out. Here's a heart for you.
Basically. So the Talisman of True Faith, basically, it serves a couple of things. One, it serves as a divine focus for like a holy symbol for those of you who require holy symbols. It gives you +4 concentration checks for spells that are negatively impacted by being on the Abyss. So you get better concentration checks. It helps you to focus, and it tells you if you're going to do something that will screw up your standing with your deity. It tips you off beforehand.
Like a bro, like, hey man, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's like you're like, I'm going to murder all these prisoners.
It manifests as a little angel on your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
So now if I contemplate flame striking Gatto,
it actually sends to Erastil, would you be cool with that? And Erastil's typically like, yeah, go.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down, dude. Go for it.
Normally I'd say no, but Gatto, go ahead.
Hey, while we're in the Abyss, can't we visit Mub?
No, well, the Mub's not in the Abyss.
Not yet.
No, Mub will never be in the Abyss. Mub's going to the Hells, not the Abyss.
Oh yeah.
But right now, Mub is at his farmstead outside of West Crown, becoming one of the richest men in the region.
I've heard he's kind of a dick. So
thanks to my friend the mayor.
Massive dick. No, so that was I know you guys read Mub's sort of backstory. He eventually becomes very wealthy, and then disappears. But he did not disappear to the Abyss.
Not to the Abyss.
Mub, I hope for future generations you then buried that wealth in a series of weird and elaborately formed traps, and then populated it with small monsters.
Actually, upon my death, a lot of it goes to Sarenrae.
Throw the ladder back for low-level characters.
When Mub died, he gave away a lot of stuff. He gave away a lot of material. In fact, I can tell you exactly what happened. Hold on just a second.
No.
Hold on.
Did Ray know Mub?
Ray definitely knew Mub. So hold on.
Of course.
I know. Mub? Saying it right?
Ray never knew Mub the way he wanted her to.
So
In the biblical sense.
Yeah.
Mub died 31 years after his return to Westcount at age 59. He's assumed dead because his body has never been found. But on the night of his disappearance, the heads of each of his offices, his overseer, his chief vintner, each of his senior ship captains, the mayor's office, the Order of the Rack, Vestas Savaska, and the Church of Sarenrae, all received identical numbered packets of documents by courier. The documents, all quite legal, with the proper seals and witnesses, detailed the disposition of his substantial estate, with enormous stipends for most of his staff and partners, bags of silver and titles to small farmsteads and businesses for his newly manumitted slaves, immense grants of gold and material to the Church of Asmodeus and the Order of the Rack, real estate and farmland equivalent to more than 2,000 hectares to the city of West Crown. But the single most ostentatious gift was to the Church of Sarenrae, who received the next day built atop a wagon built specifically for the purpose of carrying it, a 20-foot scimitar with the wings of Sarenrae on top of it, made entirely of gold and weighing several tons, and decorated with a colossal starburst of precious gems. Artisans had made it over the past 18 months in secret, and at his death, Mub arranged for its delivery and installation at the Church of Sarenrae. No one dared to estimate its cost, but from that day, the Chilaxian bishopric of Sarenrae became a hub of students and pilgrims alike, and after many years, some claimed that being in the presence of, quote, the great curved sword of the Dawnflower cured their diseases and bestowed blessings upon them. A 20-foot gold scimitar with encrusted with precious gems. That was his gift to the Church of Sarenrae when Mub disappeared.
I bet he inspired a whole generation of young thieves. How am I going to get that? Yeah.
Including one half-elfish rogue by the name of Gatto.
He wasn't a thief. He started out as a
innocent caravan guard.
No.
Yes.
ICG.
He was a doorman at a bar. He was one of the thugs at a bar.
Gatto was?
Yeah. No, Mub.
Mub was, okay. So yeah, that was what happened when Mub disappeared.
That's a cool story. I'm waiting for you guys to finish editing that thing, and I'm going to read it.
I got 2 sets. I've started working on them. So Gordon's been crushing it. And it's just shocking how crappy my writing is. All right, thanks you guys. Yeah, we're way over, so I will get back to you soon, and I will see you again in
next week's B team.
2 weeks. Next week's B team. Yep.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right, guys. Good night.
All right. See
Bye.
you.
Good night,
See y'all.